try to get to the game.
If Deji wasn't on the podcast, he would be
Okay, look, I can't hide this from your niggas, man.
You never know what's going on this day.
This nigga said the same
If
line.
Deji wasn't on the podcast, he'd be doing dating advice. No, fuck the joke, right?
I'm gonna get this fucking joke out.
But seriously, you'd be doing dating advice.
No,
you
I
would
wouldn't,
be.
though.
You would be, though.
Bro, this is the thing.
You be bringing some.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the podcast, I keep myself to myself.
You said off the air you will follow a girl back based on her level of attraction.
I have
You
said
know how
no.
Kevin
I
Samuels
have said
sounds,
this
bro.
on. I have said this on multiple podcasts now.
All right.
I have a rule when it comes to Instagram.
Yeah.
Either I know you or I think you're attractive. If you don't fall in one of those two categories, I'm probably or I need you for something.
You might be bad vibes.
Yeah.
How's that bad?
You
vibes?
might be toxic.
Wait, hold on.
I don't
Instagram
follow-
is
I
to
don't follow.
look at
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah.
Why am I looking at pictures of people that I don't know or
If
find
I don't know
attractive?
you-
So you
And you're
just
not
put
both
all
like
your
that?
trust in her based on attraction.
But I'm not here to hear about your thoughts. Like you're posting pictures, I'm liking pictures.
You'd definitely get finessed over by a woman.
Probably.
Yeah. how much you think that you're getting finessed over? He said his tax bracket's different. He'll say that on the first day and she'd be like, okay, keep going.
Probably. God damn.
yeah,
You clear him out,
Go
man.
back on the. So what is this now? The rebrand.
Yeah.
Dropping on
All right, yeah, back on the
Wednesdays.
Back to the
Rebrand,
admin. So
yeah,
obviously
that's
we used to
the
drop
rebrand.
on Fridays. Now we're going to drop on Wednesdays instead. You get me?
Yeah.
Hopefully, consistently on Wednesdays. You know, things happen, life happens.
I mean, it's fair to say it's
you know what?
consistent
You might
at
get the
this stage.
podcast when you get the podcast, but Wednesday is what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
It's what
Wednesday
we're
is
aiming
the day you're getting it.
Yeah.
Wednesday
This
is
is the
Wednesday
year
is
of-
the new day.
This is the year of consistency,
Yes.
the year of discipline.
for. Yes.
So when we say Wednesday, you're going to get that motherfucker on Wednesday.
Yeah.
God damn
Yeah.
it.
Also, we will be all the videos will be on YouTube. We'll be on the No Request network with DJ Jesse. So that's kind
Yeah,
of
man.
what
We
we're
finally got signed.
Yeah. We're
We signed
getting
a
bag
deal.
now.
Max
We're getting
contract.
the Biggity,
So
biggity
if
bag.
you want to know if this podcast we're making money off it, yes, we're making. Like they keep saying,
Just say
it's
the
not that hard.
just say the tax bracket is different. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
different.
no request channel
Yeah.
on YouTube. That's the network we'll be on. We'll be doing our own clips as well.
Yes.
TikTok soon come.
So if we make that
Instagrams.
clear, like we are still going to be dropping on our own page mainly. So we're going to see a lot of the content that say not necessarily exclusively on No Request First. You're going to see it on No Request First mainly across that, and then we'll still be uploading on our page anyway. It's just to push out content so we're more visible. Because I think we had to make a decision ourselves that we needed more visibility.
Yeah, definitely. Because
The podcasting was
Best
there.
kept secret.
Deji's brother even said to us, he says, I listen to you, the podcast is good, but I just don't see you guys anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're kind of trying to figure a way
We're trying to be in
seen.
sight.
And we're like, okay, through collaboration and working with other networks and also having visibility through TikToks and Instagram and also promoting the shit out of ourselves. So if you see a clip, share the clip, like share it with your friends, make that shit keep going. You know that kind of way?
Because most likely it'll still be myself, either Jesse or Deji will be editing it still. So a lot of time goes into that. A lot of time goes into the setup here. We're going to have to strategize and come up with our own sort of like contingency plan of how we plan the studio and how we do all this stuff and how we... So share the thing.
The
Share
aesthetics
thing.
will get
That's all we
better.
ask in return,
The
yeah.
content will get better. The guests will get better. This next level podcast is
Yeah.
it. Don't worry. You
For sure, man.
Are we done with
I
admin
think
stuff?
that's it. I think
Are we done being in the industry for a second?
Okay, yeah. So anyways,
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion, yeah. Romance is just money.
Talk to me.
Okay.
How
Because-
did you come to the conclusion
how's
of
romance
romance?
just
Because
money?
obviously Valentine's Day just
Yeah,
came
yeah,
by,
yeah.
yeah. And everyone's always talking about romantic and romance. And I want to be with a man that's romantic and blah, blah, blah. It's just money. Because the thing is, right, if I
I think
had...
you told us
Is
that.
it but money versus thought? Like
No.
some women want the bare minimum. Like just something like you got me a milk tray, a Cadbury milk tray. That's all. Like
I think for short-term relationships and girls that you just fucking,
Yeah.
that works. But after
toxic man. No, let's just
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, okay,
But
right.
once you get into a long-term relationship, yeah, there's only so many birthdays that you can get her a handwritten letter before she starts wanting some. I want some gifts, like. Do you get what I'm
You're
saying?
right, man. They start putting pressure on your
Yeah,
shoulders.
and notice all of the things that are posted on Valentine's Day are just things that cost peas.
Do you think I hear you and I don't even disagree, but I'm just giving a different point of view. And I do not just think that's because of the social media era that you're seeing one girl
Let's face
holding
it.
a bouquet of flower in a nice restaurant, holding a bouquet of flower in the middle of London or Dubai or something. And then you're like, the girls are looking at that next year when their turn comes or they get a man, they see that that's the standard because last year I saw someone holding a bouquet of flowers in a different city.
But then why am I seeing ultrasounds on Instagram?
What?
What is it, like a baby? I'm seeing
fuck is he thinking?
baby ultrasounds on Instagram, bro.
Yeah, but
Everybody's dropping that they're pregnant on Instagram.
Bro,
on Valentine's Day.
Something has to happen.
So it's either expensive stuff or it's babies.
Yeah, but even with the babies, it's just another level of commitment.
But then my girl is seeing that and she's like, they've only done 2 years. They have a baby.
Yeah,
Why are we having a
but
baby?
that's we're talking about romance. You're talking about marriage.
This guy just projected his own feelings. He's like,
That's why we have a podcast.
I got her a Dior bag and she wants a baby.
We're talking about flowers. Man is like, what about babies? What about babies?
My mind is somewhere else after 5 years, okay?
What you're saying is kind of what I'm alluding to anyways. It's like, because of socials, two different things. Now perception is like, oh, Valentine's Day becomes about money because that's what they see every time.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, every couple that started going out at the same time we started going out are going on to that next level.
Yeah.
David, why are you not
The
going on
thing
to
is,
that
I'm
next
not even
level?
talking about Valentine. I'm talking about romance, full stop.
Okay.
But Valentine's Day is only about the aesthetic.
Yeah,
It is only about the
100%.
social
no,
media.
big time.
No girl wants to feel left out when everybody's
No.
posting up videos of like flowers that they've gotten. Obviously, yeah. But I'm talking about romance as a general. Like the most romantic things, if you have peas, like you could just do it.
Davido said it. Love is sweet, Paul. Money and time.
Yeah,
Love
like
is
because
sweeter.
the thing is like,
Love
okay,
is sweeter.
if I have a bunch of ideas of romantic things to do, but I can't afford to execute those things, am I a romantic person?
In theory, yes.
In theory, but you're not really.
Because
Yeah, but see, that's
you have the right idea.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
theory isn't practical. Like because romance, I think someone said it's like it's not what you can do for someone. It's not what you think you can do for someone. It's what you can prove you can do for someone.
Yeah.
If I'm like, oh, David, I can buy you a car. You're like, yeah, in theory, I could.
Yeah.
But until I do it, then
Until I
it's
do
like,
it,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
actually bought you a car.
bro,
Yeah.
I'm married to Megan Good right now, but am I really?
Excuse me?
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, literally no. You're
Yeah,
not. No.
but so what I'm saying is
But
just like,
it is true because it is like even growing up, every time we see a romantic gesture or apart from the handwritten letter that you might see every now and again, it was like or the easy one with the boombox in front of the bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually, most times like flowers.
Don't do that in this day and age.
They don't do that ever. I've only ever seen that in
I
the
don't see
movies,
that
man.
movies.
Yeah, I've only ever seen that in the
Storm,
movies.
what's this bitch Storm's name? Eunice. Storm Eunice is outside actually holding a boom. Who even owns a boombox?
Not anymore.
Nah, not
But imagine
anymore.
how romantic it would be if you found a boombox.
It's
I think what Jordan's trying to
romantic.
say is the sentiment of doing simple stuff is dead now.
Yeah.
Like what? Do you know what I blame that interracial couple on Twitter.
Oh, that one from
Them ones.
California.
I blame them. They're single-handedly
Where the girl is fine. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I haven't seen this interracial couple this year.
And 2 days later, they came and I was looking at their pic and I was like, this guy pulled
Yeah.
up. He doesn't disappoint. He does what's that stuff for.
5-star hotel, chocolate spread.
That guy did a roulette game, and if you turn the roulette, you see what present you'll get.
But
They can fuck off, man.
even the thing is, right? The thing is, with all of those things, because my question has always been, for Valentine's Day, is it about the thought behind it, or is it about what is actually happening? Because all these people that you're seeing post up, right? Like, let's say, like the likes of Future and them man, right? Remember when Future did the whole thing for Lori and had bare like flowers or whatever, bro? I could just go, yo, assistant, can you just there's $10,000, just book the thing to her house, innit? So is it still? Does that come from the heart?
No.
Do you
Yeah,
know
it's
what
like
I'm
that
saying?
whole rhetoric, like, oh, he could just do that for you with too. I'll do something for you with my last 20, like, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just dependent on what's appreciated.
Bro, all that shit
Well,
doesn't matter, man. It's
like
money.
in your case, what's happened is because it's turned to aesthetics. They won't even look at it as, oh, you just asked the assistant to pay $10,000 to get it made. They will look at it as like, I saw Maya Jama's one. Flowers all over the apartment. She's filming, rose petal in the baths, and next snap, Ben Simmons was probably at practice. I know probably Ben Simmons called his assistant or called someone in New York and said,
Ben
set
Simmons
this
didn't
up for
even
me.
know that was happening.
Set
Yeah.
this up for me.
He didn't know how that was happening. He said, just set it up.
But
Just set up the
for
thing.
the way she the way she puts it, she puts on socials, our girls be looking at it, or just girls in general looking at it. So it's not even about like, well, mine was really thoughtful. I couldn't get you anything. I made you a card. I got you a boombox, but they couldn't like.
No, but that
couldn't
works.
post that.
That will work for year one.
Yeah.
Year
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little something, make sure you give me a little something. Year 3, brother. Where's the gift, bro?
Bro, especially if they know how the money's going throughout the year. They know how the money's coming in,
That's
like
also
your income
another factor
spent.
because if they know if
Yeah.
you're with a girl and you're honest with her with your income and what you're making and whatever it is,
Just over there not.
don't you think she'll give you a pass?
Bro, that's all. Like,
Nah.
this is the thing, yeah. In the short run, that could all work because it's not long term. Do you get what I'm saying? If you've been broke for 5 years, bro, year 6, she's looking at you like, brother, like I want to go on a holiday. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why they say broke niggas
First
don't
of all,
deserve
if you're
no pussy.
getting to year 5 on broke, them first 5 years, she must love you because like not.
Now, what do you do
not
Valentine's Day anyways? Why do you guys see Valentine's Day?
I went and got some overpriced wings.
Everything's overpriced Valentine's Day.
No, but
Valentine's
Blue Bar
Day tax
wings,
now.
fucking like we're talking €11 for the small ones and then 15 for the large.
€11 for wings.
Wings,
Small
bro.
wings,
All they do
€11.
is a bit. What they do in Blue Bar? Frank's hot sauce, butter, mayonnaise, 15 blips.
Yeah,
Imagine, bro.
Valentine's Day was
Inflation is
Game
killing
is
my
fucking
people.
rigged, bro.
Nah, I goes. My wife's birthday is like just the 6th. Valentine's Day is the 14th.
It's still weird hearing him say wife, isn't it? Just a little bit weird. I had to think about his age again for a second. I'm like, wife? You brought the ring to the studio. Damn. Okay.
I was on the ring.
You brought the ring to Blanche's down, bro.
And so, because she was like growing up, like in previous times, she was like, oh, because her birthday was so close to Valentine's Day, she always had to pick one. But I always feel like I'm kind of like you. Especially this was my first one as a husband. I was like, I can't not do anything.
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
say, well, your birthday was a week ago. And we already did stuff for your
But
birthday.
you said the honeymoon. You said the honeymoon come so close.
Bro,
though.
we had our honeymoon.
Yeah.
We came back from the honeymoon. It was her birthday. Her birthday was done. Valentine's
Jordan
Day.
said, "Don't chat to me till April because," and then 2 weeks later, Valentine's comes.
My mom's birthday is the 13th.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, bro.
If you're gonna do something, either you do something big on the Val's Day and just blow it out of the water, or you do like something small and something medium back then. Cause I got like flowers, candles, or whatever. And previously, there was like I've gotten cupcakes. I've cooked for her. Like you're saying, that cooking thing might work.
It works.
Year 2, year 1.
It just depends on the woman you're with, you know.
Yeah.
I think mainly you got to communicate from the start what's really happening with Valentine's. So I was walking with Emma and I just turned around to her and says, "Yeah, did you get any presents?" She's like, "Well, I got a little something, you know." Sometimes like I'm just making it clear now. This is on like what was Valentine's like the following Monday. This was on Tuesday. I was like, I'm making it clear. I'm not getting any presents. Like I will do something, but I'm not getting any present. You just gotta establish these things, like, because I'm not sitting there on Valentine's Day then say, and I'm not a dickhead for that. Like, it's just we've never rated Valentine's like that much. But it's like when Valentine's leads up, it's a bit like, should I do
pressure.
something? Should I do bro? We did well. In fairness, COVID tax. There was a COVID Valentine's last year. I remember we said we weren't gonna do anything.
Take me back.
This girl gave me sliders and we did tapas and everything. I was a bit like, well, this is good. I'm like, it's Valentine's. Like, we don't really have to. Like, I have birthdays. I have Christmas. I have all these things to kind of take. Even summer holiday is something big within couples. Like, do you know what I mean?
You should bag Valentine's because you have birthday and Christmas on the same day. So.
Summer holidays.
I'm telling you. I know. I
Summer
should be.
holidays we don't have summer holidays anymore. You need to get yourself out that mindset.
Not
They
summer
don't exist
holidays.
no more, bro.
Not summer holidays per se, but you do
I
a
know
summer
what you mean.
holiday. It's like
Yeah.
where you go is big. You're not gonna go to like. Let's face it. None of the couples are doing fucking staycation this year. Like, fuck all away. I don't care
For
about
Val's
Galway.
Day, I agree with the sentiment as maybe a shared experience is better than gifts to each other.
Yeah.
Because your birthday is your day, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
And my birthday is my day, so I get to gift my day. You get your gifts your day, your birthday. For Val's Day, it's supposed to be both of our days. It's the love day, isn't it? So because it's a couple's day, or at least it's supposed. I know the way it's fucking marketed. It's catered towards women, essentially with flowers and chocolate. It
One of
looks
these days
like,
we're gonna talk
with
about
love hearts. So it's catered towards women. So for me, I would agree with the sentiment that because it's supposed to be a couple's day, let's do something like because I got her something. She probably wasn't expecting me to get her anything. So on the Sunday, she took me out like a bad bitch. I got into the car. She was driving.
That's my whole thing.
I was dashboard babing. She took me to a restaurant, and she was like, "Do you not feel shame?" I was like, "Nah, I'm married."
I ain't trying to impress nobody.
Exactly.
I'm married.
If
If this was
Marriage
like,
tax.
if this was like a girl that you're seeing and the first person she's taking you out, and I know maybe like an ego bit of men, you'd be like, but she's gonna take me
Nah,
out.
bro,
She's
take
gonna
me
pay
out,
for
bro.
it. She's gonna pay for it. Like, we know a guy that's like couldn't let a girl take him out and like
Yeah.
couldn't let her pay. But I'm like,
Nah.
but I do agree because I did something for her. Maybe she wasn't expecting me to do anything because we never even talked about Valentine's Day. But
Yeah.
internally, I was like, it's my first one as a husband. I just can't. Do
Oh,
like,
yeah, you gotta-
I can't have to, even if it's like the smallest thing. I can't have to do something. And then
Yeah.
on the Sunday, I was in the car. I was dashboard babing. I was sending the snaps. I was like,
That's what I'm saying, bro. You like-
not here for
But
food.
things I'm not even talking when I say romance, I'm not even talking about Valentine's Day. I'm just talking about romance in general, like throughout the whole.
No,
relationship.
romance in general, there is rules. Like, but Valentine's is just a marketing ploy to me. It's no different to Easter. Like if you get me an Easter egg, fine. If you don't get me Easter egg, I won't care anyway. It's a bit like that with Valentine's. If we do something cool, it's great. But if we don't do anything, okay, cool, we're still chilling anyway, not doing anything. Like, it makes no difference to me. I think it's different. I think, like I agree with you with your sentiment on romance. So I've got to be doing something romantic. Like, maybe we do need to be on a date once a month. Maybe we need to be doing something, But Valentine's now, I think Valentine's can pass. But I agree with the whole sentiment of.
Would you say you guys are you've dated a romantic? Because usually when they talk about romance, it's like the men are meant to be the romantic one. Maybe because that's how it's portrayed all our lives. Yeah. It's always the men doing the romantic gestures. Whereas, like, I think you've asked this on the podcast before. Like, what's our version of like a woman showing us romance? Or like
that's not sex. That is, you have to specify that is not
because
sexually.
They can get
motivated.
Flowers, they can get chocolate, they can get a bottle of wine, prosecco. We can get a bottle of wine, but for some reason it doesn't have that same like.
Bro, don't even drink wine. It's you that will drink it.
I think because I swear we did the podcast before where we said it was sex, and we're past that now. We've evolved. You see the studio, we've evolved now. Like, you know what I mean? But like, no, I think it's effort levels. Like, I think even if I arrange the date. Come here with effort. Come here interested. Come here like, wow, like this is sick. Like, we're having conversations.
But that's still
effort
you
levels,
providing
that's
the
all
romance.
I really want.
That's still you providing the romance. I'm talking about a romance.
Oh, providing romance. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like my girl take me out for wings that day and drive in, take me out for wings and pay. I felt that was kind of romantic.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed that because I don't know, maybe because like she does take me out like this is probably the one relationship that girl that's taken me out consistently, but maybe because that day I wasn't expecting it, and she was like, "Oh, let's get in the car, I'll take you out for food."
Yeah, because it was less.
I was like, this is kind of nice. Like, it's how girls feel. It's how girls feel all their lives.
What, you get picked up, you don't have to drive. You don't have to worry about parking.
You don't have to worry about. She even said, "Do you want a drink?" I was like, "This is wonderful." To this small baby.
Did she order like where? Yeah, you know what it was. Yeah, he'll have a salad.
She called for the bill. You're like, oh my God.
She was like, there was a main and a starter and a main and option of a dessert. I was like,
did they give you the bill?
Lovely. What?
Did they give you the bill?
Usually they do. They come
always
to
give
the bill. But now at this time I can't remember. I was having too much fun to remember.
Nah, I've never used this word in my vocabulary ever. Flabbergasted, bro. Last year, walked into Emma's during COVID. She did Spanish tapas. She like ordered all the Spanish tapas stuff and like laid everything out. Handed me Adidas sliders. I was flabbergasted, bro. Like, I was literally like, oh my God. I was sitting there eating tapas. Was eating like Spanish cheese and all that. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is nice.
Right,
like,
it feels nice, doesn't it?
Yeah. I just want effort level from girls. That's all. I don't even want like even if we didn't do sex, like I just want effort levels.
Even if you didn't do sex.
Yeah, like no spice it up. Like, bro,
yeah, just give me effort levels. Like,
but what you didn't tell us, like, what romantic gestures can women do for you? And be like,
see, the thing is, I'm actually not that sure because, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very more time. I'm not even here. I'm not gonna lie to you. More time, my
he's
brain
so mysterious, isn't he?
my brain is usually somewhere else. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, so.
He's Brent Fayez of the podcast, by the way.
There's what?
You're Brent Fayez of the podcast.
How?
You're just toxic and mysterious, like.
I'm not even. Okay, I'm toxic.
100%.
Look, you know what it is, yeah?
Yeah.
I've stopped trying to fight the label of being toxic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm toxic, yeah. It is what it is. Like,
and you're someone's girl's favorite voice. That's Brent Fayez.
Yeah, man. And I'm
you see the connect, you see the parallels.
Also, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes there's been a couple times where your girl's been pissed off at you, she's calling me, bro.
Hey,
but it's true though.
like this guy.
I love that so much on the podcast. Charge it again. We say this several times.
Genuinely, if you don't like it, be a better listener. That's it. Like, that's actually what it is.
So it's kind of a thing. Maybe you don't know what that is until something happens. Like on that day when they took me out, I was like, it's happened before. Maybe the element of like, let's just go. I was like, oh, this is kind of nice to be surprised and to be I just chill, and then this kind of just happens for me, you know.
Yeah, but I think that whole just showing up thing is nice, where you don't have to think about anything, you just show up. You don't have to be the one.
Maybe that's why they've been shouting about it, and us men were like, just tell us.
But you know, no. But the thing is, right? For me, I'm very much, and it's something I have to get out of the habit of doing, is that I care less than you. Right? So like with your girls, where you go to eat, you probably care less than they do.
I don't think I can ever match my level of enthusiasm with my girl. Like, my girl will book a holiday 3 months before. She goes, like this. After she books it, she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Like,
my girl
when we get there, I'm going to be gassed.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? I said, I'm going to be gassed when we're there. When we touch down in Tenerife, I'm buzzing. But like, until then, I'm not thinking about it. I have too much on my plate from now till...
I'm thinking about how I'm going to get the money
June.
to go so we can run
I'm
balance.
saying, like, you're trying to book our first year anniversary holiday It's in October. It's like,
I never get what they get gassed about. Like, what takes over the body?
I'm still praying that I'm alive in October.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's happening there.
February's not even over yet. She's like, I just need things to look forward to.
Yeah.
I said, plan something in March. Why are you planning something
We'll
in
do a
October?
filler in between. Then I'll get excited about that. What are you getting excited about holiday in fucking June, man?
But what I'm saying is, like, I care less than you about everything. Like, the hotel room we stay in, I care less than you.
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So the thing is, if I book it, you might hate it, and that's gonna annoy me because you're gonna be nagging me off. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want that. So that's why I ask you, where do you want to go? Because the thing is, you have a list of restaurants you want to go to. I don't.
Yeah.
So how about instead of us doing all of this guesswork, just tell me which restaurant you want to go to, and we'll go.
I've started saving shit on TikTok that give me nice places to eat in Dublin. Like that's how bad it gets when I'm trying to think of somewhere. She's like, okay, you pick. I'm like, and something comes up, a taco place. I'm like, yeah, save that.
Yeah, but that's why I think for men we like to be practical. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to get you something that you like. I don't want to get you something that you like.
Bro, every year they're like, present, just surprise me. I'm like, I don't want to surprise you.
I don't want to surprise you.
If I'm gonna spend 400 euros on a present, I don't want it to be something you don't like, and now I'm pissed at you because I wasted 400 euros and you're pissed I got something I didn't like.
Don't piss me off, brother.
Yeah.
Why can't we just
don't look
tell
at this
me,
shit like socks? I paid 400 quid for this shit. Like,
do you know?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you just tell me, you know what, this year I'd like this Louis bag.
Yeah.
If I can make it happen,
Bro,
I'll make it happen.
And the thing is, how has this ever happened to you, right? Where you'll do everything and like you'll like, let's say you book something and then they'll look at it, it's like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna have a quick look.
Yeah.
This is why I asked you in the first place.
Yeah.
I've never booked anything, but I just know. I just know that's what happened.
I hate me going through the effort of making the plan and you just come in and completely changing the plan.
Yeah.
Because that actually annoys me. Because I'm like, no.
You could have just made the plan.
Like,
You could have just...
Even apart from the fact that you could have just made the plan, it's like, why? Was what I planned not good enough?
Because I don't have an eye for, like, if I'm looking for like a cocktail bar, I'm just thinking, okay, this cocktail bar does fucking Long Island iced teas or something. It does porn. So, okay, this is the place. She's like, okay, but like, is there flowers? Like, I see flowers in this place. It's really nice. I'm like, I don't care about the aesthetics. It's like, is there somewhere to drink?
That's what
I'm
most
drinking
of it
there.
is now because of Insta. It's all
Yeah,
aesthetics
it's aesthetics.
now.
So I don't
York.
have an eye for the aesthetics. So naturally, if we're picking somewhere that has cocktails, you pick the cocktail place. I'll pick wherever. If it's a pub, I'll pick wherever. Like,
Yeah, but I think then that's just one of those situations where, not speaking for women,
we have for 10 minutes.
But what's good? You just have to, like, if your man isn't great at those things and he has tried,
Yeah.
unless it's completely pathetic, then just allow it. But
Yeah.
like sometimes, you know what, men are really like dogs, bro. Give them a bit of encouragement, like they'll be good. And then they will like, you know that feeling you're gassed when you get a girl and she loves it. Yeah, man. I know she's going around, she's telling her friends, yeah, look at me different, innit?
Yeah, we're so easy, man. We're so easy.
Because even when, like, in New York, we went to a Dallas barbecue or Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
And I was like, Texas barbecue, it's safe. It's a barbecue.
Yeah.
It's in America. Every type of meat possible. I didn't think you could go wrong.
Pause. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me fast forward. I didn't think it could go wrong. But then she didn't enjoy the Texas barbecue. I was like, after that, I was like, at this point, we'll just do whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm always just like,
pick anymore.
on holidays, just be like, look, all right, let's go out to eat. Where do you want to go to dinner? I could look for restaurants here. I'm looking for restaurants. I'll spend 30 minutes looking for a restaurant, pop out a restaurant, and then it's like,
Or do you ever try?
Make me go through all this effort to go.
Do you ever try watch some on Netflix?
Say, oh, that looks really nice.
No,
But maybe we can try something else.
No, but the thing is, like, if I just said, because the thing is, I'll get complaints that why do I always have to pick it? But when I pick it, you then go and then repick it. So
I
what's the
remember
point
we
in
had
picking
that
in the first place?
conversation, and then a week later, I picked a place, and she was like, "Oh no, this place looks shit." Like, I'm like,
This is why I don't.
there you have it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
There
So
you have it, darling.
that's why let's skip this
if
half
it's
hour
me,
that I'm gonna
we'll
spend.
go Nando's.
Just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Go Nando's. I like Nando's. You like Nando's. But
you know
because
what
of
I'm saying?
aesthetics now.
Yeah.
Remember, Nando's isn't even baked like that anymore. But nah. Do you do anything Valentine's Day, bro? Anyways.
There you go, man. Anyway, what are we moving on?
I hope you guys fucking see the visuals for that. Anyway, and the visuals will be on No Request YouTube channel for the YouTube channel. Let's move on.
I have a question, yeah.
Talk to me. Oh, even the book comes with dockets.
As Dave, yeah, as a man that has lost a fair bit of weight, how does fat leave your body? Do you shit it out?
Do a shit out.
Like,
Shed it out.
Shit.
No, actually,
shit fat out. Like,
fat out.
you know when you're losing weight, yeah?
Yeah.
The fat has to leave your body some way. So I'm thinking you have to shit it out. That's the only way.
You know something? I've never thought about how it actually leaves your body.
Because people just assume that it just evaporates and it's gone. It doesn't work like that.
I think you burn it off. I think hence like you burn off calories, so you burn it off.
I would say through sweating. You sweat it out.
You sweat off.
I think you sweat off the fat. Like because I know when fighters are weight cutting, they go into the saunas to cut off the. I know that's like.
But that's water weight. That's water weight.
It's
actual fat.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I actually don't know how it happens.
Because I'm assuming you shit it out. Because how else is because
I used to look at like kind of like what's the word, like incrementally, like it was like 1 week, okay, 1 kg, 1 week another kg, 1 week another kg, and it actually like it was like a mental thing. It's like, I'm not seeing these kgs come off, and then it's like one day 7 weeks later, someone's like, "Rah, like you've lost." I'm like, "Oh, this is just kg accumulated." That's how I remember it. But I don't remember literally like overnight just some fat fella. I remember one day I looked in the mirror, I'm not even talking in the mic, sorry. You know, morning skinny. You know when you wake up and you just feel like morning skinny. That's kind of when I notice it a bit, but I wouldn't notice it. Like it'd just be a bit like.
But I'm just talking about like literally that kilo that
you should get a scientist on the pod as well.
Yeah, we should.
I thought you are one.
I'm not a. That's like I'm a chemist. Yeah, okay. Like those nutritionists, people.
Biologists. Yeah, no, I don't know. It crossed my mind earlier this week, and I was like,
man said you should. Yeah, I don't think you should. Like, I don't think you shit it out because how much times you would have to shit? Because you do obviously when you shit, you lose a certain amount of weight, but to actually lose the weight in your body because what shit is essentially is the food that you're like the food that wasn't digested,
it's waste,
leaving your body. It's just waste.
That fat is now waste.
Not necessarily.
Because how is fat gonna dissolve into liquid and then come out of yours? Do you get what I mean? So
I just know before I used to weigh myself, I make sure I shit.
Nah, my body just.
Yeah, you have to get rid of that.
I make sure I shit because
that's at least half a kilo.
Gazy figure on the weighing scales. I'm telling you, bro.
I went to the gym just back this last 2 weeks, and I was like looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, this body dysmorphia thing is real. You feel like you're hench already. So you've only been back 2 weeks in the gym, and you're looking at something.
Body dysmorphia is just gym heritage, bro. Like if you're in it long enough, like you actually like, okay, this arm's looking a bit bigger, and then you look another day, and the arm's just not looking as big. You actually think you're losing your mind in the fucking gym. Like that's just like gym heritage.
I think it's normal though, like because the thing is you're always going to notice things about yourself that nobody else notices.
Yeah,
and that's why I think like a lot of girls are so hard on themselves.
You get gas when someone says it.
You get gas when someone actually points out.
Oh, the arms are arming. You're like, yeah.
And
you start playing off. You think so? Might be the shirt.
I go over to my mom. I'm like, man, do my arms look bigger? Like,
do you guys have that reflex? No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you know, moms lie to you every time they tell you that, yeah, they look bigger.
No, mom was like, "Dude, you're getting fat, man. You look like old man." But what's good? Do you guys have that reflex, like when a girl reaches for your arm, like you just instantly? Do you still have the reflex?
Bro, there's no way I'm having flaccid arm, bro. Come on, what do you mean? What do you mean? Of course I'm tensing. I wanted to wind it back to relationship though. So, because we were on the topic of relationship, and then we kind of diverted a little bit. So I seen this TikTok, right? And it was interesting to me, so I'll play it.
So one of my issues with you is you seem to never have any problems. You tend to kind of just everything go with the flow. Nothing ever bothers you. At least you don't say it. And although I feel like we balance each other, at times I have felt like you might be secretly holding all these grudges against me because you just never ever have anything negative to say. And I'm like, I know I'm perfect, but not that perfect. Okay.
I don't like conflict. So to me, it's just like, is it that serious to start something now?
But it doesn't mean we're starting something, because that's with the assumption that in you expressing your feelings, it's going to cause a fight. I feel like in you expressing your feelings is going to clarify something, and it's going to make us better, and it's going to make me a better partner too. Because I might not know.
So like even every day in work, every day in relationship, you're kind of put in a situation where, I feel like I've grown up kind of inherently not liking conflict, just based on like seeing my parents. When I see my parents argue, just be like, this shit is not gonna end. Is it like you just wouldn't know because they're both like two stubborn people. So I'm a bit like that won't shy away from conflict. So I think I psychologically or subconsciously like stopped liking conflict. But I was always thinking, like, is there a situation where like you need conflict in order to get somewhere with something, or are you just gonna spend your whole life dodging conflict?
No.
Or I thought of it as like if you're in a fight with a guy, you're not just gonna think, oh, if I stop fighting, he's gonna stop fighting with me. Nah, but you're giving him free punch. You're giving him free range.
I'm banging you in the face, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're getting banged in the face. So I'm a bit like sometimes my mindset goes to, oh, if I just dodge conflict, the conflict's gonna stop. No, sometimes the conflict still stays. So I'm a bit like, do I have to match conflict to win? Someone has to come out winning this. So I've got to match the conflict.
Sometimes you can't look at it as winning.
Yeah.
And you know what I know what
or it ends or subsides. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't look at it as winning. You have to look at it as like, in theory, what she's saying is correct. Like, I don't know if she'll practice it, but in theory, he can't look at him expressing how he feels or if he feels shit as a way that we're gonna cause a fight.
Yeah.
Because that means he's looking at himself like how I feel it won't be considered if I express it to her. Like he has to acknowledge also my feelings has to be considered in this relationship. And if things are definitely bothering me, I should look at it as like it's gonna create conflict, and because it's gonna create conflict, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I got a saying, like I heard a saying ages ago. So sometimes you have to go to war to find peace.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Because sometimes if you're just, and she's right to be like, why do you not express anything negative to me? And it will build up. It will build up to a stage that she's gonna blow, and he's gonna be giving out things they should have said 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas had he said it, you might have fought. Like girls are so good at it. They're so good at telling you things they don't like about you, even if you fight. But at least they said it, and now you know. So if they say, "I don't like you liking that girl's tweet," it might create a bit of
And you
conflict.
can't dismiss it because it's their feelings.
Yeah,
They're being
it might
honest.
create a bit of conflict. You might be like, "Oh, but that's just a friend. It's not even like da 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 da." But now you know she doesn't like you liking her tweets. So if you do it again, at least you knew she didn't like it. But if you see things and you're like, "I don't like her doing that," but you know what? It's not worth fighting. She's
I
gonna
think-
keep doing it. It's just building inside you, just festering.
Like the thing is, because I'm someone that has, like, I feel like my mom kind of made me stop liking conflict, or everything is always like, did you just leave it? It's okay. It's actually blah blah. So like a lot of times with that kind of stuff, it's just like I sit there and I'm just like, I could bring this up, but I don't know if this is going to lead to a fight. And if it does lead to a fight, I'm just not in the mood because you're ready to fight a lot longer than I am. And then it's just like, fuck, it's just
But
not worth
sometimes
it.
even if you're, I hear you and I agree with you. I used to be like that. But even if you stop fighting, the point is they know that bothers you.
No, but
That's all that matters.
But I say all that to say, like, I've gone through life for so long trying to avoid conflict. When you actually realize that you can't. Like,
No, you can't
have
actually,
you have to get in conflict
take
at some
on
point.
conflict,
Because the thing is, you're going to be pissed off at somebody, and it's going to be her or it's going to be you. And it's one of those situations where, like you said, sometimes you got to go to war to get peace. Because if you don't start saying what you don't like and drawing that line, people are just going to take you for a dickhead. Like, and that's what's always going to happen.
And they should be hearing it from the source. That's what I hate. Like sometimes a conflict, like I'm not saying this guy's probably a stand-up chill dude, or he's probably just genuinely a chill dude. But some guys are like that because they don't want to conflict with her, but they're giving out about it to everybody else.
They'll be
and
at
it's like,
work,
at least let her
tell
hear
you
from the
their life
source
story.
then. And have you confronted her about it? Well, I mean, no. It's like, well, confront her about it then. It's like,
Them married couples that work that will lay out all the relationship problems. You'd be like, why are you telling me this?
Let her hear it from the
like,
source.
I don't even have a notice period. I can leave tomorrow.
Why are you telling me? But no, like, to be fair to her, I don't know if she practices, but I actually agree with her more than him because he's taking it's the easy to just be like they're just saying, I don't like conflict. Or the harder thing is like, yo, you did that, and especially because we're getting better at it. We're men. We weren't growing up. You have to be a man. You couldn't express your feelings, so you let these things fester. But now you're at a stage, and it's good that you're acknowledging that, like, if it bothers me, no matter how small it is to me, I have to, because they 100% they do it. It seems very small. We've all been in arguments with our missus or even friends, and they're bothered about something, and you think it's very small, and you're like, man, you're really bothered about that. But now you know that bothers her. So if you do it again, you're just like,
But it
For me as well,
accumulates.
I get
like,
over things quickly.
You think that?
No.
You think that?
Like the thing is, like for me, I
okay.
can't be angry for long. Do you get what I'm saying?
Then say it
like,
in the moment.
But
Say it when
sometimes
you feel it.
See, this is my problem. Yeah. I even like all emotions. This isn't even just anger. All emotions. If you don't catch me in that exact moment, I'm over it by the time you catch me.
What if she never catches you in that though?
And that's my problem. Like that's why a lot of things, like I get over things so
and that's what I'm
quickly.
saying. The problem is she's not catching you in that moment. So you're not taking that head on, and then you're sitting there, you're like, man, when did she? And you're getting pissed off about it again like 2 hours later or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
but like for me, if it happens in the moment and I'm annoyed in the moment or whatever, by the time I like sometimes you're not in the position to speak about it right now. Like let's say we're out and you did something while we're out, and more time by the time I get home, or by the time it's time to speak to you, I'm over it. Like I just don't care anymore.
Even if I agree with you. I'm not even like I understand that approach. Like
You still
even
have to
if you
address
are
it.
over it, just say it.
Yeah, I know, but that's
Like,
the thing.
just say
Like,
yeah.
even when I say it,
sometimes I'm
won't
with you.
even say the
Sometimes
same
I'm
thing.
with you. Like I'm not even bothered about this thing anymore, and like I'm like I don't really care anymore. It wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't like it in the moment, but the moment and.
I don't ruin
I
my
agree
peace.
with you, and I agree with you. It's not every occasion. Some occasions, if I'm over it, I'm like, that's like they always say, the older you get, the more you have to learn to choose your battles. Even if I'm like in that particular moment, I didn't care, like I don't care anymore, and that's fine. I'm not gonna bring it up. But some things I'm like, even if I didn't care, I don't care anymore. But I didn't like, say for example, how you touched that waiter's shoulders or whatever.
fine there, by the way.
Yes, yeah. Even if I didn't like, even if I'm over it.
It's gonna come
Like
up again.
Yeah.
maybe we'll go out again next time, and you have to know that I didn't like that you did that. So it's like, hey, I'm over it now. But when we were out, you did this, and I didn't like it. I don't have to still be like, man, she touched that guy's arm. I don't have to be let it sit in me. Do you know that kind of way to
No, I
express
get
it?
it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's one of those situations. Like a lot of guys, I think we have to get we have to get more used to actually just saying things,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
expressing
yeah,
how I
yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, as a guy, I've been there. It's like, am I really gonna say this out loud? Like, I'm like, I sound like a bitch right now.
I sound insane right now. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they'll be so good at it. Like we've all, not even just in this relationship, like even previous, they'll be expressing things that you're like, that
That's what I'm
can't be
saying.
a big deal. But they're
But
so
girls just
good
let
at saying
off,
it.
and
Yeah,
then,
they're so
and then
good at saying it.
they even prefix it by saying, "I'm gonna sound nuts right now."
Yeah,
But, like,
They
do
might
that
sound a little
anyway,
bit
yeah.
crazy.
You gotta say,
Yeah.
yes, you
this
sound
guy
crazy right now.
This might sound a little bit crazy.
At least
and
me and
then
you
they'll
both
say-
know.
And they'll say it, and then you'll
Yeah.
be like, it does sound a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
But now I
Well,
know, and
you
I can't
said it.
move like that.
Yeah.
But,
As your feeling, I can't dismiss it. You know. So
but no, it's good that like you also know where the fact is like I don't like conflict because in my house I grew up with conflict. So for me now to be like there's a conflict around, I kind of try to avoid it because it's what I grew up around. But growing up, then you'll realize that even in friendships, the other day we had a situation in the group chat and you were just like, I have to say something now,
Man,
or this is
yeah.
gonna keep going, and it
Yeah.
created a lot of tension.
and you know,
But fuck 'em.
I didn't want to do it either. Like we were talking about, I was
You
like,
were
I
texting
don't
me,
want to be that
and
guy.
I was like, bro, if you feel this way about it, you can't like, and if you didn't say anything,
Yeah.
those jokes will continue to fly because they don't really know how you feel about the jokes. But the fact is, you were like, you know what, Jordan, and I was like saying, bro, this is you. If you're gonna tell them, if they're annoyed, they're like, oh, we can't run these jokes.
Yeah.
anymore. Fuck them.
Because initiating a conflict, look, we're literally saying there, always sounds insane. So for context, like the guys are just making mad jokes. I can't even say on it. And my whole thing was, okay, I'm gonna sound nuts saying, stop making them jokes. I don't ever want to police jokes.
That's
I
not-
like
that's not
jokes.
nuts, though.
I like letting jokes fly. But when the joke
And you
is
let,
kind
to
of
be
pushing
fair,
it a bit,
and to be fair to Dave, you let those jokes fly for like a month.
yeah,
Even
I'm like,
more, probably.
jokes can fly. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big advocate of jokes. But when the joke gets too far, now do I sound insane saying I don't like the joke?
That's not nuts,
But that's just, but that's just a conflict with that. I can't. That I'm a bit like, oh, I can't face that. I'm like, because I sound. It's not even that. See, I don't mind that conflict. I can tell my boys, shut the fuck up, like, man, shut up, like. But I'm suppressing them and making jokes. I'm like, do I sound nuts right now? Like, but it's a bit like it's what has to be done in that
No, but the
moment.
thing is,
Otherwise, it won't stop.
It's not nuts. Like I got people that I make jokes with. Do you get what I'm saying? But some certain people draw the line. Some people's line is don't make your mama jokes.
Yeah.
Some people's line is don't talk about this.
I've
Some
said
people's
that.
line is don't
Yeah.
don't do
I've said
this.
that. So my
Do you get-
partner, my
said-
family, leave it out.
He said that in our group
From
chat.
the beginning, I was like, my partner, my family, leave it out. I'm
Yeah,
not even
do you-
joking about
Do you
that.
know what I'm saying? Like now that's now on me. If I come and start making those jokes, bro, I told you I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
now we can fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's
Yeah.
what they do. So even if they sound nuts, but they've told you I don't like you like in our pictures.
it's-
So
it's-
now
Yeah.
you know if you do
Yeah.
it again, it's a fight.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I've
So
told you I
then,
don't like it.
so now you don't respect
I
me.
don't
if
like
you-
Yeah,
it.
do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's like not everybody. Like, I know for me, there's not really a lot of jokes that will get to me. So, how I do it is whatever energy you give me, best be able to take that energy back because I'm usually the person that says something that goes too far. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
Oh, but these jokes, bro, it's like I wouldn't have it in me to fire them jokes back.
no,
Yeah,
but,
that's it.
But
That's
that's
it.
what I'm saying. I'm usually
Yeah.
the person that will go too far.
Yeah.
So I always just, I would just like there was a point in my life where I used to just run the same thing for everybody or like give my opinion unsolicited.
and it
But
wouldn't
then
change, yeah.
as I grew up, it's kind of like, all right, cool. If you give me dick energy, you get dickhead energy
get it back, yeah, just
but
know,
if you don't give me those jokes, if you don't say those kind of jokes to me, I'm not gonna say them to you.
But do they know from the beginning? Don't make these jokes. Once you,
I don't have that line.
Oh, you
Yeah.
don't have a line.
Yeah, and that.
What about your family?
That's one
Your
thing.
nieces and nephews?
That's one thing that scares me. Yeah, like some people they know what pisses them off. I don't know what pisses me off because I don't have the line. Like I've let so much shit go. Like do you know what I'm saying? Like if you make your mom joke, bro, you don't know my mom.
Yeah.
Like and even if you did, okay, what? Like,
Yeah,
what?
okay,
Like
yeah,
am I really? But I also think that's also a part of me that.
Would you, if you had a vulnerable moment with these friends of yours and they flipped into a joke, do you think that would trigger you?
To be honest, I would have probably made a joke before they did. Like that's my thing. My
This guy's impenetrable.
my
bro.
vulnerability.
You're like 8 Eminem in 8 miles.
Humor is my way of getting out of being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like even like before when I was a lot younger, like even like talking to girls and like when she starts getting a bit moist, mom put a bit of an Irish accent or something. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do you get, like or just to crack the. It's not as vulnerable now. It's just jokes.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's never been a joke that has gotten to me.
That's like at work. Some guy said he got out of it was really like emotional, talking about he just broke up with his girlfriend of 5 years. He tried to rekindle the romance of a Valentine's. He got really emotional. And me, being a guy and being around my guys, we have to bust balls. Like it got really intense in that moment. I was like, So you're gonna tell us how you fucked it up? But then I realized,
But that's a joke,
yeah,
though.
but
Yeah.
like, it's just like, but I realized he's not my boy like
Yeah,
that.
like
So
that.
maybe I can't ruin that joke
Yeah.
with him. But it's just like second nature that like it got really like heavy
Yeah.
and emotional, talking about his heartbreak and how he went on a lad's holiday, he couldn't get over it.
And you
I'm
joke
like,
your way out of
oh.
them
And I'm like,
situations.
yeah, usually like if it
Yeah.
was you, if it was
Yeah.
like my friend Chris
Yeah.
or whatever, I have to make a joke. Like my miss tells me every day, and I was like, "Is everything's a joke?" Because I'm like, life is so serious that we have to be
Yeah.
like, we have to joke around when we can, especially in our bubble. My bubble's like my friends, you guys. In that bubble, I have to be able to joke. Because when I'm going out there to deal with a white man, I'm calling lawyers, calling the
He makes
bank.
the white man sound
It's
like a villain.
serious. So I agree with you. Humor is also my way of like just removing that bit of seriousness in life in general and in just in situations. Like, you know that kind of way.
Yeah. No,
But yeah, like I don't know, it's just one of those situations. Like if you have your line, I don't think it's never crazy to draw your line.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like, everybody's line might be different. Like my line is way out there.
But Dej, you know when the jokes stop even getting creative and they start getting personal and stuff like that, and it's a bit like low hanging fruit kind of thing. Like it's a bit like, oh, he shared this thing, so let's not even make a joke. Let's just repeat what he said last week or whatever.
See, but that's the thing about me though.
I'm not a fan of jokes. Like
I can, like, I got a sharp mouth. I will rip you right back. Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you your mom is dead and it's fine. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I don't.
But no, you know that thing? Like, that's my fear, that I will take it too far.
Yeah.
And now our friendship is over stupid jokes. That's why I draw the line. So
Yeah.
if I draw the line, you tell me where your line is. We can keep it in bounds.
Yeah,
you
but
know that kind of way.
It's actually like,
In
I
bounds.
respect you so much, I'm gonna private message you and say, don't make that fucking joke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I
This-
respect you and I don't want to have to say something back.
Exactly.
So don't make this.
I don't
joke.
want to lose friendship
Yeah.
over jokes.
This, but
Yeah.
this is
If I value the friendship.
This is the thing, right? If you start busting jokes at me like that, like
you don't value the
There's no
friendship.
rules to it
like
anymore.
it's not about that you don't value the friendship. Like I got friends that will bust crazy jokes,
Yeah.
but you start busting jokes at me like that. I was like, oh, we cool like that. Like you know,
Okay,
like
yeah.
me and Dio from the very first day we met, we've just been cussing each other.
Yeah.
Me and Dio have never been, like, from the very, very first day we've been cussing each other. That's our relationship. He gave me that energy. Cool, I'll give you that energy back.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. It's calm. Do you get what I'm saying? So if someone wants to come at me with one of those things that is personal, you're not even making a joke right now. You're just saying my personal life shit. All right, cool. I know shit about you too. Like we can do this.
Yeah.
Like we can really do this. Like I got a podcast. My life is out here. Do you get what I'm saying? So let's
I
go.
don't think I have it in me to fire back that way, so I rate that.
But that's the thing. Like everybody's line is different. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the thing is, I always say to people, don't cross your own line, because if you cross your line, I'm gonna cross your line.
Yeah.
And if you cross your line and you say a mad personal joke to me, that's fine. My line is over
And
there.
I've never been able to cross my line because I'm incapable of doing it naturally. So you ever see the guy that like doesn't make the joke, and it's literally like that. It's like, yeah, that's why your mom's dead, and the whole group chat just goes, ooh, like I know he said that, but we're not used to you saying that.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and said, oh, his mom's dead. So now it all just looks
it's
mad.
like the thing, when you cross the line, you don't know how far the other person's gonna take
Yeah.
you. Once you cross, like you're saying, it's like once you've crossed that line, I can take it over there. And
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm afraid of. I can
Yeah.
take it right over there.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's the thing. Like that's why I always say, don't give out energy that you're not ready to give back. Because
Yeah.
do you know how many people that I've seen in life? They'll go and they'll bust all these jokes and they'll be joking on everybody, and one person will bust one tiny joke about them, and now they're pissed off.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
if you can't take the joke, don't give out the joke.
It's like when Drake said Pusha T's wife, and then Pusha T's like, you're hiding a child. What is 40 is 666? I was like, oh. So and then people were like, he went too far talking about E40, what's his name?
Yeah, 40, yeah.
40, and then other people were like, look, once you cross the line and you mention his wife's name, where he takes it next, there's no control.
Do you know
of
what I'm saying?
that. You know
Like,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like you've crossed a certain, you've crossed my line.
yeah.
I don't know how far I'm willing to go now. Do you know that kind of
Yeah.
way?
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's why I always say, like, you know that whole thing of give people the respect that you want? Like you said, you don't tell those jokes because you don't want those jokes back.
Exactly. I
in
wouldn't
return.
make a joke about people's family. I wouldn't make a joke about people's partners, because I know if you do that, I'll say something back now. Now me and Dave are not doing podcasts anymore.
Even, bro, I know people that won't even say anything back. It's straight fight. It's straight violence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, like, if you punch someone in the face, expect to be punched back, or expect to be stabbed back. Like, you
Yeah.
can't control the consequences of what you do. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, people always talk about, like, you can't control how something comes back to you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you go out there and do something, like, you know that whole every action has a reaction or whatever, but people's like, oh, you took it too far. But how is it too far? Like, if you do something, be ready for anything
Yeah,
to come
you
back.
can't control. Like I always say, that you were talking about when I started at work. I work with like kind of like a lot of Asian people who didn't really have black people growing up around them. So, and I didn't have Asian people growing up around me. So we're just talking about the culture. And I was like, oh, but what about if I say say if an Asian or whatever said the N-word in a rap song and they didn't really mean to offend anybody? I was like, look, you might say it to me, and my reaction would be like, that's annoying, but move on. You could say it in front of Sam, and Sam might punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Like, you can't control the reaction that based on what you do. I might react with it. We were talking about this last week, and I was talking about again with like at home with the Joe Rogan thing. I might be like, hey, it's fucked up, but I ain't gonna really like cancel him and stop listening.
Yeah.
But if Deji and Dave said, no, he could never say that, he's blessed, and I'm never gonna. If that's their reaction,
People have different.
that's fine too.
It's based on
That's fine
principles.
too.
People have different principles. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you could say one thing, and like you said, you could let it fly. You could say it to the next man, me, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
punch you
saying.
in the
I'm gonna
face.
punch you in the face. Like,
Yeah, and like to be honest, I feel like and there's this culture of like people being rude and thinking it's funny. Like being
Yeah.
rude isn't being funny.
that some dark humor shit as well.
Yeah, like the only like this isn't funny. It's just shocking. It's just
Yeah.
shocking that you said it.
Yeah.
And some people take that as it's like nah, like I like some dark shit, but like at least make it funny.
Yeah, at least make it
that's.
funny,
I
yeah.
always think that I was like, I like comedy so much, and I like the like humor that's like kind of flagrant. I don't like people that just make jokes that's like it's kind of like the easy laughs that people
Yeah.
like.
Niggers the
it's like-
punchline.
Yeah. Or
Low
gay
hanging
people should
fruit.
all have rights, and everybody's clapping and laughing.
Yeah.
Like, well, man, that's like we're all gonna agree. Yes, everybody should have equal rights. You know
Yeah.
that kind of way.
Yes.
Make me
Yeah.
think of like, oh, that's fucked up, and then pull me back. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's funny.
I
You know
need
that
like
kind of way?
double entendres in the joke and all.
the
Like
joke.
when the joke goes over my head, again, like this the one.
Nah, so do you guys finally watch the Tinder Swindler then?
Yeah, I
I
watch
still
it.
haven't watched that
He's the
shit.
greatest.
Yeah.
Nah,
he's
this
the
guy.
greatest.
But just fill me in on what happens. This guy's finessing women out of money. Okay. Oh wow.
Not just
okay.
women. Not just
Like,
women. That's what it's called. It's not just women.
It's not just women.
He finesses men too. It's just women that
Damn.
were the only ones that were on the show, but he finesses men too.
Damn. Okay.
So yeah, they're basically we'll do a little like Tinder Swindler. This guy
Yeah,
called
you
Simon. What's
summarize
his
it.
name?
You can summarize that, and I'll tell you
Simon
what my
Innit?
beef is with Netflix originals.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Yes, his name is Simon essentially. So he found a way to live lifestyle like Dubai plane, and he does this by first he'll date girls.
Yeah.
He'll show them a specific lifestyle. He'll tell them he's a prince or the son of a billionaire
Yeah,
in
that
Dubai.
was, yeah.
So then he'll fly to places, or he'll fly them to places, private jets, 5-star hotels, Rolls Royces, and shows them a certain lifestyle, sells them a promise that he's gonna marry them and they're gonna live this life. But he's doing this with like 3 different girls.
What a true.
So then eventually,
My guy.
he gets to a stage where he stages like he's in trouble. Do you know that kind of way? He
Yeah.
stages like, oh, I say if I'm hanging out with you, you're part of my entourage, and these girls knows who my entourage is, and I'll take a picture of you, blood all over your face. I'll be like, David is in trouble. Like,
What?
Yeah.
Peter is
Peter-
down.
My
Peter is
enemies
down.
are getting
My enemies are getting- So then, because of that, he'll say, I need 50K or I need 100K. Then these girls then will go get a loan, get that money, and send it to him. And he'll keep playing him. He's like, oh, the money is being transferred. I'm still waiting on the money to come through. I'll send you back double. And sometimes like, oh, I need my enemies are after me. I need more. They'll go back out there, get more, send it to him. And
Okay,
This is
let
out of
me-
love.
Let me prefix this, right?
Prefix
So,
it, my guy.
what's called? He changed his last name to Lviv or whatever, and it's like there's people that are actually. He said his family's in diamonds, but there's actual company like there's actually family like the guy is called the King of Diamonds or whatever. So he just changed his legal name to that, to their second name. Like okay, right? Let's say Smith is a terrible name to use because you
Thanks, man.
you might as well just be Joe Blogs.
yeah, David Smith.
David.
I heard some in the show. They're like, yeah, it's like the name. It's as common as Smith. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but like
Smith is
let's
fucking
say there's a Midomba in Congo that is actually like is mad wealthy there in diamonds or whatever, and then I changed my name. My name is Digi Midomba or whatever, and then Photoshop myself in some pictures with them. But if they Google my name, it'll show everything.
Yeah.
Like everything that's legit, the company, whatever. So
Yeah.
he goes to Google or whatever.
He was really smart. He played. He was intelligent.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So then, then obviously now I've taken you out with me. You've been on the private jet. You've seen me spend 15, 20K in a night like it's nothing. You are convinced that I am a
I'm
billionaire.
about this life. I
You know
can
what
do
I'm
this.
saying?
Yeah.
So now when I ask you for, look, I just need like
20K.
Also, diamonds it's a bit shady, blood diamonds, all of that. People with money, they live a different life. Like, it's like, no, my life is actually, like, they're tracking me. They're trying to kill me right now. And I can't use my bank account. It's not like the bank blocked them or anything. I can't use my bank accounts because they're tracing me. They're looking for where I am. And I need 20K right now to go sort out some business or whatever. Some girls have 20K in the bank because obviously saving for a mortgage or whatever. Quick, just send it over. And then sometimes he might send a fake thing where he sent peas back.
Peas back, yeah.
So this girl sent him like 50 or whatever. He sent her back 100. Well, he sent her a statement that said he sent her back 100.
But 4 days later, the money's not hitting the
money
account.
But the thing is though, it buys you some time, and also there's not a lot of people have been dealing with transactions that big, so it might actually get blocked by the bank. So you're thinking, oh, the money is coming in. David's saying, oh my God, thank you, Simon. You're so generous. Thank you. Blah, blah. Money
The
never
voice
comes.
notes were killing me.
Then another one he said, oh, you know what? Instead, just come, take my watch. The watch is worth about 70 or 80.
He's giving these guys fake interest.
She went back to the pawn shop. What's fake, brother?
Fake watch. Fake watch.
But
no, wait.
the sound of it sounds stupid, but when you actually watch it and you see the way that this level of manipulation, this is layered shit.
That's what I was saying as well, because I watched it with the missus, and I was telling him, like, the thing is, he showed them a lifestyle for them to, because people are like, how would you fall for this? Like,
Because I didn't see the hype behind it, because I'm like,
Twitter reaction, and I was like, but if, like you were saying, if I have a friend that's on like 6 figures, earns 120K a year, whatever, drives a nice Merc, owns his own apartment, and he says, I need $1,000, I'll pay you back on payday. If I seen him live this life, it's only $1,000, I'd be like, you know what? He might be good for that on payday compared to if I have a friend maybe that works in like Don'ts, for example, and like he does trust save, and he asked me for, like, I'd be like, I might not, because he wanna show me a lifestyle to convince me to be like, he will be good for that money. So what he does is he shows them, that like, look, I'm good for this money. I will pay you back with more if you do this for me.
Also, you've seen me spend less. See me spend more on nonsense. Literally, one of the girls
urgent right now. Like,
one of the girls, she took her on holidays for the whole time in the summer when he was with her, and they're going from place to place to place to place to place, and he won't let anybody else pay. He's seeing 15, 20K being pissed out. Bro, if someone asks you for, like, that's like me asking one of you guys, like, obviously you scale it down, but yo, give me a tenner, I'll give it back to you in a week.
Well, I've seen you spend a tenner like nothing, so I'm like,
You know what I'm saying?
it must be urgent.
Exactly. It's
Then.
like, if he needs a tenner, there's a tenner.
And when he's flying, he has a team. So that's another thing. Like, you know when people start noticing shit that, like, you put things in place for people to notice without pointing them out. If how many people have traveled with a team around them that is for them to travel? Do you get what I'm saying? Or look, don't worry, my driver will take you back to, like, the first girl. So the first girl, right? And he took 250K off her. So they met on Tinder, whatever. He's like, I'm only in London for a couple more weeks. I'm only in London till like the end of the day, whatever. Come link me here, we'll do an hour. She gets it, she's like, it's one of the most beautiful hotels she's ever seen. She felt out of place. Then he comes out looking like money and all that kind of shit. They're talking about everything. He's like, oh yeah, my dad's a Prince of Diamonds, whatever. You know, just making conversation. And then he's like, you know what? I'm flying to like Budapest or something tonight. Do you want to come? She's like, yeah, fuck it, why not? All right, cool. Get in the Rolls Royce. My driver will take you home, pack, come back, and we'll go to private jet. That's she. It's
That's
not
why
like
you had them on.
She flew on the private jet, went to go stay in the 5-star hotel. They beat that night. You know,
fucking
like, do you get what I'm saying? Once it's not even like someone is telling you, you're seeing pictures.
You're living this life.
It's showing the lifestyle.
Do you get what I'm saying?
So it becomes uncharacteristic then. If he's
and then he's like, he asked her to be his girlfriend. As soon as it starts, he's like, oh, you can't tell anybody because look, my life's very dangerous. I got enemies, blah 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 blah. So just keep you safe. And he's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna move back to London. We can live together. Start looking for apartments. Your budget is 15K a month. 15K a month. So yeah, she's like, all right, cool. So now when he's in trouble, the first person you're gonna ask is your girlfriend. So she's like, yeah, fuck it, like, yeah, cool. I can just get a quick loan. I'll pay you back tomorrow.
You know, and then what you do is you get the loan from this girl, spend it on this girl, get the loan from this girl.
So he has a run like
It's a Ponzi scheme. And when it was all said and done, he gets caught, he gets bagged, he gets bagged and sentenced for 15 months in jail. He does 5 months, he's out.
And then the thing is, he doesn't even get bagged for fraud. He gets bagged for identity. And because people were talking about, like, how could he not get bagged for fraud? Because I'm like, because he wasn't frauding the institutions. These girls were going by themselves to get the
willingly
money.
Giving
and then
money,
they were giving it to him. So it's like, if I tell you, go get a 5K loan and give it to me, I didn't fraud the bank. You got a 5K loan and you gave it to me. Because that's what people wanted them to get caught. I was like, that's fraud, he's doing fraud. I'm like, he's actually not, he's frauding the individuals.
There's deception involved.
Yeah, he's frauding the individuals. But once you're not frauding the banks and the corporations, it's not, because people were like comparing him to Hush Puppy. I'm like, no, Hush Puppy was actually going to fraud the banks and he was taking money off accounts of actual people. Whereas this guy was getting the girls he was dating to take money and from in their names and send it to him. Some of these are still paying off these loans still today.
Not some, every single one that took money off from him.
Like the only one that killed me is like, fair enough. Like if they just says, give me 50 euros, I'll pay you back next week. I might give it to him today. And if he doesn't pay me back and they just like, Jordan, you need the 50 euro, They might look at him like, bro, you haven't even paid me back the 50 euro yet. But they kept sending him money.
But the only difference is that because the only difference is that once you put someone in that fight or flight mode, like, because he was like, my life is in danger. Like, I need to get out of here. Do you know what I'm saying? That your wife,
a lot of people don't have the guts to say, nah.
Your wife tells you, your wife, girlfriend tells you that they're in danger right now. They need €1,000. You're not even thinking about it. Yeah, cool. Or even let me go find it real quick to give it to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Or it's like, look, I'm doing business. Like, my whole business could crumble if I don't get this flight booked. Please help me book it as quick as possible. Bro, whoever's going to give me the more money quick. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But man, these girls have GoFundMes and stuff for their stupidity. I'm a bit like, why is it being glorified?
You know what?
If I get scammed or something, I might stand and GoFundMe.
Like
the way he played
it was a high level of manipulation.
Because I was telling my missus, I was like, this guy is a very smart guy. To pull this off, you can't be a dummy. It's just, then I looked at it like maybe I was doing too much match of the day analysis. I was looking at it like, even you have this level of brain and intelligence, growing up in the poverty in Israel, you're capped what you can do with your like even if you went to school, like what you can do with his brain's intelligence is probably like, but he's one of those people, like if he used that same level of intelligence and brain in like different things, he could be very successful.
I think that's what he's doing now. Like he got out of jail and started a business. Like now he's still living the same lifestyle. Yeah,
because he was a smart and
that's about Hollywood agency.
He has to be a smart individual. Because there's some people are like, oh, you could have been. I was watching a podcast with a guy called Michael Irving, very entertaining. He used to play American football, and I'm watching this podcast and I felt the same about Kobe. I'm like, oh, the way your mentality is and the way you're thinking, the intelligence you have, you could have been successful at a lot of different things. Yeah. You just chose this one thing. Yeah. Same thing. I'm watching this documentary. Like that level of intelligence and intensity and work rate, he could have been successful at a lot of things. You just chose this thing. Because the way he was working the most, it's
the same level of analysis. It's the same thing with drug dealers, bro. Yes. Like people think selling drugs is easy. No, it's not. Like, but the one thing that I didn't see and I thought that I would see is a lot of girls saying, like, you know the way it's like, oh, Jay-Z has enough time to text Beyonce back. Why don't you text me back? Bro, that guy had like 6 girlfriends. And he was romantic to every single one of them. I was just waiting for girls to be like, he can have 6 girlfriends, but he can't have one.
Which is right, yeah. I'm dying to that meme
but
too.
The thing is, they were too busy being on the girl's neck. How can you fall for this? How can you be? But I was talking to one of my...
Each girl was an entity, man. He couldn't fuck that up. He had to keep on top of each of them.
I was talking to one of my guys. It's like, even I was listening to Tree Shots. It was like, one of my guys, they were like, do you know how many girls have taken names on cars, in their names for guys, or have taken, like, these things happen, but obviously you're on Twitter, everybody thinks like they're above it. Like this couldn't happen to me, this couldn't, like, bro, but this happens like on a regular.
That's because people always do this, and I'm like, the thing is, right, even the same way with like domestic abuse and shit like that, or hit me once, bro, it doesn't work like that. Like, it's not day one he's gonna come here and he's gonna punch you in the face. Obviously anybody would leave. Like logically anybody would leave. The thing is, you have to be charismatic. You have to get her latched onto something that she wants, and then you slowly, like, it's the same way with
these people that build Stockholm syndrome, like where they're sympathizing for the people that are manipulating them, abusing them, and stuff like that. So it's not as easy as like, oh, I can just walk away. Like, also, you're being manipulated. You're being convinced, like, oh yeah, like I need to stick with him because he is in a situation. That's what they get. That's what these women are doing at that in that instance. You know.
Speaking of Stockholm syndrome, when are we gonna like actually come to the, like, when are all of these like PETA and all these like dog organizations and everything, when are we gonna stop kidnapping dogs?
Okay. No. I didn't know where that was going.
The thing is, think about it.
I know where I was going.
Think about it, yeah. So
who's kidnapping dogs?
This dog is born, and is born little 5, 6 brothers and sisters, whatever. One random owner comes and takes it, and that's it. You've never seen his parents again.
They say the thing with dogs is they need to be domesticated. They're not wild animals that live in.
Okay, they also said that we were 3/4 of a human being. Like, we can't believe 3/5. Okay, whatever. Like, are we really gonna believe what they said? Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
Like that. Look, Dave, you should speak more on this. You have a dog.
Yeah, you got a dog.
I mean, it's kidnapper. You can't keep a pack together, like, because they started like a mother, like that's what I'm saying. Dogs are domesticated, so if a mother has a baby, if a mother is already in a home and they have a pup, you can't keep them around together for too long because eventually she's gonna go, oh, so you think you run things down this house, even though that's her offspring. It's a bit like, oh, so you think you run things in this house? It's like they forget, as dogs, they forget, like, because it's all territorial with dogs as well.
I think we say that. I think we say that, but I don't think it's true. Because like I'm on dog TikTok now, and
This is where I came from. This is where I came from.
I'm on dog trainer TikTok. No. This is a thought I've had for years. Like the first time I went to go help one of my friends pick up her dog, right? And like the little bitch was just like it actually threw up in the box and all that kind of shit. Yeah, little bitch was thrown up in the
Technically correct.
yeah. Like and like it proper like I remember what's called. I was watching a video and it's like, oh, this dog like is a puppy and it's just moaning and crying and shit. Yeah, because you just took it away from his fucking parents. Like what the fuck do you expect?
Now you're on the side of the animals.
But yeah, no, not particularly. But
but just devil's advocate.
but
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
Look, I've never owned a dog. I kind of get what you're saying. Like, look, hey, we're on this PETA thing. Why do we take dogs away from their parents, take dogs away from their environment, let dogs live as dogs, innit? That's kind of what you're saying. But I can only, on the knowledge I've heard, is like dogs, like they're not as smart as, let's say, cats.
No.
Cats clean themselves. Cats know when it's cat can go outside and come back where it's owner. So cats are kind of like smarter, so they don't need to be as domestic. Whereas dogs, they're not. They need like guidance.
And you know,
That's what they say.
I know
think that because we
evolution.
put them that way.
Yeah, no, but evolution plays a part in that too. I think even from when dogs are born, they have to figure out, okay, I'm domesticated. I need this off my own. I need that off my own.
Yeah,
I don't think you just even get a pup and throw them into the wild and they learn how to do the wild.
The thing is, I think
have you
they
ever
would.
seen how quick dogs learn how to beg?
Yeah, but that's
I've
that's
never
because
This is in weeks they learn
that's
how to
because
beg.
what's
and do
called
tricks.
you're when you put anything in any environment, they're gonna figure out the environment. You get what I'm saying?
Bro, put
Like,
a tiger. Try get a tiger to beg after 5 weeks.
Don't try it, Deji.
No, you won't.
I plan eventually on owning a large cat.
All right, Mike Tyson.
Large cat.
Yeah, preferably lion, but I'll take a tiger.
That's a millionaire shit.
Look, that's what. Yeah, what?
Let's go.
This tax bracket's different, bro.
I'm trying to be in that tax bracket where I'm not paying no tax.
You figure out a way, and
No,
you're
that
like,
target's like
all my tax
Mike
money, instead
Tyson.
of tax, I put it in
You know them
non-profit benefits for my children. Shut up, man. Don't put anything. Anyways. There's something I quickly wanted to talk about. Well, let me play this TikTok real quick. Before
Look at all you niggas bring in TikToks and
I
shit.
have another one after Jordan.
I
in fact.
talk about it. So this is a quick.
I'd like to talk a bit about Kanye West.
Anyway, no.
Right
This guy, everybody knows what I think of Kanye. But I don't even want to talk about the greatness of Kanye West. But as I was watching that documentary, there's like a lot of misconceptions because there's a clip going around of him walking. And as I said this as I watched it, I was like, he's going around playing like All Falls Down, and everybody's turning it down. They're not even paying attention to it. And I'm like, we look at All Falls Down now, and I'm like, what?
That's one of my favorite Kanye songs.
Yeah, how did people not even listen to this? But when you listened at the time he was playing it, rap or hip hop wasn't the genre of All Falls Down. So when people look at it retrospectively, like we're looking back at it.
I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, it's like, how you turning this down? But that's when the Blueprint 1 came out. That's when gangster rap and like
the Locks and them man were doing their thing.
So I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, this song is like, because he played, there's a rapper called Scarface where everybody reveres Scarface, the rapper. He played Jesus Walk for Scarface, and Scarface wasn't feeling it. And I'm like, yeah, because in that era, like I think John came on the podcast said, we're all programmed. Whatever was popping in that era wasn't the sound of I'm telling you all. Like when you listen to
so not to change it.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
And for him, because even Kanye was talking, is like, they want me to make a certain type of music, but I don't want to make that music. I want to make what I want to make. And he says, I have the freedom to make it now because it's not about the money, because he was producing for Jay-Z and he produced on the Blueprint. So maybe if he didn't have financial freedom, he'll succumb to like whatever is popping in the mainstream.
You would pop by then.
Yeah, but because it wasn't popping, and I understand, like, say what's popping now is like drill and like mumble rap. If I'm an exec of a company and someone's coming and playing me like some melodic rap shit, in that moment, I'm like, bro,
Like,
I don't know who's listening to this. Do you know that kind of way?
I actually said, and it's interesting you bring that up because I seen something about, someone said, oh, the thing is with the Childish Gambinos of the world, the Chance the Rappers of the world, they actually, so where they occupied the market mostly was probably from about 2011 to like 2014 or whatever. Now you don't see them, they're not as prevalent now. You see them from time to time kind of thing, even Chance. But the thing is with them, I think I'm missing one. Kid Cudi, maybe you could add to that as well. But Kid Cudi's been around, but you could add him to that period too. But the thing is with them, they're actually in the wrong era because they were in the era where people were just trying to transition from like gangster rap, stuff like that. So they didn't pop. So they didn't. So they're at a respectable stature right now. But where could they have been? Imagine these guys started in like 2016,
where it was like that
would've
kind of music,
popped.
and that kind of music was because I was obviously like I'm saying. Like,
Amine was the third one. They said Amine around that time. Then he was
yeah.
like 2015 to 16 or whatever. But then people were still trying to warm to that sort of sound.
Yeah. Like the Kanye sound didn't exist in 2001. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, like All Falls, and then Jesus Walker's like, huh. I'm like, no rapper.
Yeah.
Wants, because they wanted it like, because he obviously produced Hey Studio His Own, like that kind of, that kind of sound. So because I'm watching it, obviously I'm a Kanye stan. Initially when I saw the clip, I'm like, how did they listen to All Falls Down and they turn this down? Then I'm watching the whole fucking documentary. Then I'm like, oh, this sound was new.
It was
to the
very,
market,
very new at the time,
and
yeah.
nobody knew what it was. And
Yeah.
like, thank God, like Dame Dash took a chance on it.
Yeah.
It's like obviously, it's like Deji said, that's his favorite Kanye song. So there was space for it, but in that time, it's like no. And I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, the delusion. Imagine me right now. I'm like, you know what, Dave? This podcast is gonna pop, so someone is gonna film me around walking everywhere while I say. And I was watching, I was like, it's delusional until you're right.
Yeah.
Because for you to go to Rockefeller and to create a whole documentary when you're not even signed and nobody rates you as a rapper, and now you say, Dave, some guy, the guy that was filmed behind the camera, Kudi, he left his job in Chicago and he flew to New York to live with Kanye. Do you know what his job was? To just film Kanye because he's like, this guy's gonna be great. I was like, that's delusion for me to be like, Dave, quit your job. We're gonna go to New York. This podcast is gonna pop. People are gonna look at us like you were crazy.
But that's always the thing.
In
with
hindsight,
presenting
it's like
something new,
it
yeah.
makes sense.
But sometimes things are crazy until you're around people. Have you ever been
Yeah.
around someone that is just like, it's just like the energy around them is just like, oh shit, you gonna be something.
Yeah,
Like sometimes if you could
saying outrageous
recognizing
shit
that,
at the same time.
Like
recognizing
you
that,
recognize that. I know he's not your friend, but you recognize him like someone like J Hus.
Yeah.
You heard him first time and you were like,
oh, this guy cool.
you gonna be something. Yeah.
Zeno Liski, I'm telling you now, he is
yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I'm saying, like sometimes it's just like, because the way he was speaking about Kanye, and it's not even like he was, because the thing is, we're talking as if Kanye was just nobody.
Yeah, no, it was a high-level producer.
He was like everybody that was around him was like, nah, this Kanye kid, this Kanye kid, this Kanye kid. So even if he didn't become the rapper that he is now, just off his producing alone, that quality, that video is worth something. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, it is like, look, man, maybe we need to get some stuff.
That's the thing with new market, man. Like nobody knows what they really want.
Exactly.
Like it's like the most famous, one of the most famous quotes. I'm probably gonna butcher it though. Is Henry Ford. Like Henry Ford was making a car at the time. People are like, why is he making a car? And it's kind of like, well, if I didn't present the car or anything, people could just think for the next 60 years they could still ride horses and ride chariots. Like, but I'm presenting them with a car that say that I'd ask the people if they wanted something faster to say, yeah, get me a faster horse. I can get you a car. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, it was viewed as like lunacy. It was viewed as something mad at the time.
That's kind of
But then, like-
kind of just what I wanted to touch on. It's like retrospectively, it's easy to look back and be
Yeah.
like, oh, well,
Oh,
how do
car,
you turn
like,
this down?
yeah.
Or well, how do you make a car?
Yeah.
Hindsight's like obviously you make a car, but when Henry Ford's making a car, everybody's looking at him
Yeah, like,
what are you doing
Cars
making a
as
car?
machines back then. That's what I'm saying. Hindsight's 2020 when you're like, oh, car.
Like that's why I hate when people always look back, like even with the Tinder swindler thing, like all the people making jokes like, bro, it's easy because you know the outcome. If you didn't know the outcome and somebody like, bro, I'm telling you, most people, if they said let's get on a private jet and fly to Amsterdam right now, most people are getting on that fucking flight. Do you get what I'm saying? So don't now come and make it seem like, oh yeah, but I wouldn't, bro. You don't know. You've never
you
been
don't
in this
know.
situation.
Exactly. in that position,
I'm not.
no.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad at these execs. Like the most popular rapper right now is Jay-Z. He just dropped the Blueprint one. This kid is paying me some singing thing, and he's not even rapping that well. I wouldn't sign him. In that time, if I lived in that moment, I probably wouldn't sign him. And he's my
Yeah.
favorite artist of all time.
Yeah, but like, and that's the thing. Like, nothing exists until someone makes it exist. Like, so there was some time in the world. Like, that's why I hate all of these rules and shit, because people are always talking about shit. It's crazy. Oh, you're crazy. You're this. You're that. You're that. And it's like, no, I'm not really, because someone thought the people thought the world was flat, and if you thought the world was round, you were crazy. Now it's flipped, and that's probably less than, that's like what, a couple hundred years,
Yeah,
even if
years,
that.
probably, yeah.
So it's kind of like, that's why with everything in life, we're gonna come back one day and we're gonna have a serious conversation about COVID. Like, I have this in stock. Like, remind me to come back to this. We're gonna have a serious conversation about COVID and why everyone. Remember, I was like, not to be conspiracy theorists and all this kind of shit, but people always come like, oh, like, why do you think that? Why do you think that? Why do you think that, bro? If you look at life, how life actually is. Like, people are always like, oh, COVID is not that deep. Then you're just talking about it, whatever. But when they were injecting fucking Africans with syphilis and that, everyone was probably like, look, it's an injection, man, you won't be sick, get it. Now look at it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like all of these things, like they talk about shit in life, yeah. Like this high level of thinking doesn't exist. Like there's certain things that people do on purpose to make things pop, but people don't see that, and they think about, when people think like that, it's like, oh man, you're thinking about it too deep. It's actually not that fucking serious. Blah 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 blah. But no, somebody's thinking like that to make you think like this. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's just like people. I just hate the fact that when someone tries to say something like that or do something like that, you're a conspiracy theorist, or you just get discredited instantly.
But
I agree, because on the topic of like just for COVID, for me, governments and people of the higher power, for me, they've just lost all credibility. Like I just can't, like you were saying, I can't listen to them on anything they say and truly be like, these people have my best interests at heart.
I don't trust
or
them.
these people are trying to do something for me. Because they flip-flop so much, and then you're finding out these mans were doing parties themselves in house number 10. Yeah. They said, and the guy is saying, I didn't know that was against the rules. I was like, bro, you made the rules. You enforced the rules,
so how do you not
know? So how do you
not
know what the rules are? And we will have if anything, like obviously we'll have a hindsight conversation of like, oh, even now we already have a hindsight conversation. I think back on March 2020, driving to work, and there's like 2 cars on the road. And I think back and it's like, the COVID is still here. Obviously we have the vaccine, but it's not, whatever. And we're back outside. I'm like,
I had the hindsight conversation immediately when overnight they just said, okay, restrictions are lifted. And we're here 2 weeks later, and the restrictions are, there's no word of, oh, we're in threat of being. I'm like, is there something they knew that we didn't know, where they kept us here on and off restrictions for about 18 months or whatever, just to turn around and go, oh, they lifted, it's done.
Yeah.
Did they get the right amount of people vaccinated? Kind of thing. I'm just a bit like.
But even when they did have them, like there was a number that they were aiming for. I don't want to turn this a COVID conspiracy thing.
I know, I sounded like that as soon as I left.
Even if they had a number that they were aiming for, they said, once we get to this number of vaccination, let's go outside. We got to that number, they did not do it, and all of a sudden it's like, let's go outside. So, but anyways,
this is
that's just how I feel about it.
My whole thing about that is like all these conspiracies. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you look at people that are conspiracy theorists, are like, oh, come on, it's not that deep or whatever. But the thing is, like, obviously not all of them are true, but there's shit that's out here that's true. There's shit that's out here that is crazy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, bro, wasn't it JP Morgan that just got caught with like tons of coke on one of their shipments, but nobody wants to speak about that? So how do you know that they're not just like they don't make most of their money from shipping coke?
People, I think we're having this conversation. The rich and the wealthy play by a different rule. They just don't play by our rules. Like JP Morgan, they do so much that they probably know the people writing legislations. That's what happens. The billionaires, the people that are in power, they're just pawns for the actual people controlling things. So if I'm JP Morgan, I'll have a politician by the string. Especially if I'm on dodgy shit, I'll have a politician by the string control the narrative. They're not gonna do anything.
But we see it in all of these TV shows. Like, oh, look, I'm gonna donate to your campaign. So obviously, when you get in office, you're gonna do me a favor and that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just normal shit. Like, and it's just I hate the fact that one of the things that annoys me the most is that Kanye has this crazy tag on him. Because
that's something else I want to touch on before we move on to this. Yeah.
That's genuinely something I'm afraid of. I don't want anyone to ever call me crazy, because if you're crazy and as soon as you say something that people don't like, it automatically instantly
crazy.
You're crazy, discredit him and throw him in the fucking thing.
And if you watch that documentary, like some of the vibes and his rants that he has today, you could see it then. And now he's just like on an elevated, like maybe.
Is it the same Kanye though? Is it the same Kanye? Because I feel like back then his rants were probably more coherent.
No, it's definitely the same passion.
Yeah,
the
but
passion
they're not as coherent anymore as rants now. Because his rants, like I'm seeing him pull back to back Instagram posts that aren't even making any sense.
Fair enough.
Question: Is it that the rants are different, or they don't make any sense, or he's just in a different sphere and he's now speaking about things we don't understand?
Fair, because for me,
I think a bit both.
When he was talking about when he wanted to do clothes, he had a certain passion that they won't let me do clothes. They're marginalizing me. They want me to stick to hip hop. And when he went on Sway, Sway was telling him, do this. Like, you ain't got the answer, Sway. He went on that passion because he wanted to be in fashion. I am seeing that same Grant when he's a producer and they're not letting him be a rapper. You know, that kind of was like, they're marginalizing me. They just want me to stick. Like, people coming up to me asking for handouts. They want free beats. I won't give them free beats. And then these niggas hate me for not giving them free beats. They just see me as a rapper, but I'm going to show them wrong. I'm like, that passion translated from let me be a rapper to let me be into fashion. But maybe you do have a point. Maybe it's not as coherent. Yeah. It's not as coherent. Maybe he's not better at like personalizing his thoughts or talking about what is actually going on in his brain. But what I will definitely say is that same passion and it's the same vigor from like let me rap to let me do clothes. I see this kind of same thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I think it's stopped though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Even then, sometimes his thoughts aren't fully coherent.
Yeah.
And like I'm watching him rant and I know what he's ranting about, but I'm like, he's not delivering it well.
Like I see it, like technically he's ranting about parenting, like he's ranting that he wants to be involved in his children's life. He doesn't want them to be doing this. Like he has his own style of parenting that I think is conflicting with Kim's. But I don't know what he's like. His way of like displaying any sort of grievances he has with it doesn't make any sense. Like he's going on Instagram, he's ranting. It's in all caps. He said, "Oh, I don't like my kid looking like this. I don't like my kid being on TikTok." Like,
but then again, I think that's just. I don't think that's Kanye being crazy. I think that's just. It's the easiest way to get things out now. And before, you have to go sit down, you have to go do an interview. Probably by the time you do an interview, you've calmed down a bit.
Yeah, you have to go to Oprah's couch for an hour.
But now I could just all caps. Let me quickly post a video. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's just social media.
The thing about the Kardashian is they created like this. It's like I always say this. They wanted controversy and craziness in their life to build up their empire, which is what they did. Now that they have controversy and crazy in their life, it's like they want to be this sympathetic figure. I'm like, bro, you married someone for 73 days, divorced him, you used that for your show. Like, Lamar was on crack, you used that for your show. Rob was gaining bare weight and Black China. You were using all of these content when it benefited you. Now you see someone that's like, you know what? I'm going to turn it up as well. Now everybody's like, oh, poor Kim, boo Kim. I'm like, bro, the Kardashian literally used controversy and what people perceive as crazy. They took someone like, for example, Lamar Odom. He was on crack. He needed help. All of these things that they use all of these things for content for when it benefits them. Now that energy in some way is being matched or is being thrown at them. All of a sudden it's uncomfortable for everybody. And yes,
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just his children.
And
I think it's his children. That's it.
That's true because like you can't then. My point is like you can't create. You can. Once you've created and monetized all of this drama and controversy and you've used people's livelihoods and their trauma and everything they're going through to benefit you, I'm not as sympathetic that Kanye is doing all of this for Kim and the Kardashians now. You know that kind of way? I just don't have it in me.
I don't think the Kardashians have particularly had good press. Like, if you think about it, everything that comes out about the Kardashians is usually bad.
But that's true.
So
they use it well, though.
Yeah, I know they use it well, and I don't think that this is something that they can't use. I think now the only difference now is because of kids. Like, if the kids weren't involved, this is just normal shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's actually this whole thing. And even
because we've never been able to relate to the other situations. You know what I mean? But parenting is a universal thing. Like, if Kanye can galvanize people to be with him in that sense, because it's like, no, I don't want my kid on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? But it's like,
but Kanye is talking about something that is like as crazy as he's doing it. He's still talking about something that is very relevant.
Because the thing is, I don't think his point is wrong. I think how he's going about it is wrong.
Because the thing is, as men, when it comes to parental rights, we don't have any. Like, if the mother says she wants to do this, and you say that you want to do this, and you guys aren't together, it's gonna go the way she wants to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's just how it works. So now it's Kanye's now fighting that status quo as well of, yo, like, I don't want my kid doing that. And it's also like, if it's not that I'm saying Kim is doing this per se or whatever, but women have used children as weapons in a divorce before. Do you know what I'm saying? Women have done that. Like, and as guys, we don't have any, like, when it comes to kids and being parents, because we don't have any leverage. Like, even if it comes, unless she's genuinely documentedly crazy or like a proper like drug dealer or drug addict or something like that, you're not getting your kids. Yeah. Like, your kids are going with her. That's it. It's always going to be her final state.
Maybe that's why, like, to Dave's point, they could just, the way he's behaving, the socials and everything he's posting, they could use, that's documented, isn't it? They could use that then and be like, look how he behaves should we really trust our kid with this kind of behavior?
But the thing is also,
it's like backfiring him. It's like he's trying to present how flawed Kim's parenting is.
But that can just
but he's doing it in an erratic way where you're like, okay,
but the thing is, there's almost no way to do it. Because the thing is, like, if, like, okay, let's say with the party,
there's method to the madness.
Let's say with the party, my kid's birthday party. Sorry, how do I not know this is happening? Like, how am I not invited? Like, why do I have to go on Instagram? Allegedly. Obviously, like, I don't give a fuck about all this stuff. But why do I have to go on Instagram to tell people to get me the address to my kid's party?
How else am I gonna go if I don't publicly shame them or publicly tell
them?
Let me invite
I've got to pretty much hit you where it hurts. Of like, all right, cool, like, bro, that's my kid. I'm trying to be there. And because the thing is, the next narrative that will be spun is that you're not a good father. So sometimes you got to go extra and put it out there that no, I've been trying to do this.
That's true. Because if you didn't come to your kid's birthday, the narrative was like,
Kanye
Shy
wasn't
had
even
every
there.
kid's birthday.
And
But
you know
put it
what
out, like,
happened?
they won't let me go.
No, and you know what will happen? They'll post somebody will post up a picture of Kanye and that new girl and say he was with his girlfriend.
He was his girlfriend while his kids was having a birthday. It's controlling the narrative. Like, you know what? Maybe you understand because he's moving mad, but then at the same time, like if he wasn't moving mad,
maybe that's his idea of showing concern.
yeah,
And
like,
showing
it's like
that
if I'm not there,
he is in the picture.
But the way he talks to his mom, it's like Kanye right now. Even back then, you could tell he has like this god complex. But when his mom was chatting to him, he's like.
No, she dropped bars though.
Bro,
that what's called when a giant looks in the mirror.
When a giant looks in the mirror, it doesn't see anything.
I've never understood something so much in my life. Like I legit
break it down.
I legit almost think I'm gonna get that tattooed on my skin. You know.
Break it down.
All right, so
when a giant looks in the mirror, it doesn't see anyone.
but everyone else sees the giant.
Everyone else sees
Okay,
the
so
giant,
one of the things, right? For me, I'm not gonna lie.
Y'all ain't watch part 1 yet?
No,
I haven't
watched
even
this
finished. I was watching it with the boys one day, like a bit of it, but I didn't even watch it properly.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I've been someone that's had proper like self-confidence issues my whole life and shit like that. And I always downplay shit about myself and all that kind of stuff. So even like, let's say when it comes to the podcast, right? People are like, no, Digi, you're really good at this thing. Like you're good at speaking and all this kind of shit, but I don't see it. I just like, it's just whatever. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where like you could have this force and you could have everything about you and you're not able to see it. But then other people would be like, no, you are really good at this. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's how I took it. Is like sometimes you can't see yourself. Do you get what I'm saying?
Or you
might
can't
not
see the potential.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because your potential might be
I
huge.
interpreted it differently. It's funny. It's like because she's an English teacher, innit? So that's, go on, keep going.
Yeah, so like your talent might be great and huge, but you can't see it because you're too close to it. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas everyone else around you will see it, and that's something I feel like I've felt in my life on multiple occasions. So I was like, bro, that's some deep ass shit.
Because I interpreted it as like probably actually now that I think about it, it's similar. It's like when you're a tall guy. So sometimes when you're looking in the mirror, you're just seeing like it's only when someone's like, "Wow, Digi, you're tall," then they notice you because she was trying to tell them to like notice who you are. You're a giant in this game. It's kind of similar. You're saying it. It's like tall people or short people. Sometimes when you look at yourself at eye level, you know you're tall, but you might not notice it until someone comes and tells you, like, "Wow, you're actually tall."
It can be looked at both sides. Like you're looking at it from the literal sense, I think, and Deji is looking at it from the like you need to. And I'm also looking at it as like the giant doesn't see themselves in the mirror. You've the capacity to be gargantuan, but you don't see it yet. So it's a bit like he actually isn't even a giant yet. He's this small, but there's capacity to be gargantuan, to be giant. Like I love the quote. That's the first time I've heard the quote.
Even his mom was telling him was like, because then you see where the confidence comes from. Because even his mom was like saying, you come across a little bit as arrogant, but I know that you're not like that. I know it's just confident, and you're like. It's what we talk about, like conditioning and feeding your kids, and just listening to that and seeing the chemistry between them. I'm like,
Donda was the glue, man.
Yeah, I was like, Kanye believed he was Kanye because of this woman.
Because of
like,
even Kanye is Kanye because of his mother.
Even before he even knows what his name is, his name. Kanye, isn't that like Swahili for like the one or some shit like that?
Yeah. He was going to a conference and he says, "I want to be known by my name only." He says, and then he actually said, one day they'll just call me Ye. No, I was thinking, I was like, wow, 20 years later, he just wants to be known as Ye. It's not even Kanye.
Like you say, you're crazy until you make it happen.
Yeah. Like I'm watching, I was like, everybody's like, oh, you're doing a documentary already? Not like because you're someone small, but like it's like looking at it 20 years later, it's like it's delusional until you drop like 5 good albums and it's like, oh, obviously it's like hindsight. Yeah. But walking around with a camera filming a documentary when nobody rates you, like as a rapper, obviously they loved him as a producer, but nobody rates you. And I was like, because if
even with that, like even because he was getting recorded before he started doing the documentary and everything. I mean, before he started doing the blueprint and everything, it's kind of like it's like. Bro, you're not fucking,
before I recorded for Jay-Z.
You're not Swiss Beats.
Yeah.
Bro.
Fair play to Cudi. Cudi believed in him so much. I was like, you know what? There's something, like you're saying, like you got that, like I said, you got that with Jay Host. I got that with like Cole. You just hear someone, you're like, there's something here.
Yeah.
Like,
You
might have that feeling, but to leave your job to follow that person for a feeling, that's risky.
But that's the thing. That's the difference between winners and losers, bro.
That's true. That's true.
And then listen, you know, I think it's a good way to transition in. Kanye, he's tried breaking into the industry multiple times over the years. He'll always have the streets. He'll always have the streets. Which brings me to what we were talking about in the off
break it down to
topic.
ditch
So,
when we're driving
I was listening to a podcast that you know the comedian Tim Dillon. He's just known
Never heard of him.
entirely by the streets, by the podcast scope for
That's how you know.
making flagrant jokes,
living in our own
controversial
bubbles,
jokes. Like he's like an internet celebrity. And he did a podcast with Whitney Cummins, who's like she does a podcast, but she's industry. Like she's like she produced Two Broke Girls. You remember that show, Two Broke Girls?
I used to watch that.
Yeah, I used to watch it too on E4. Yeah, so she produced this. She produced that show, Two Broke Girls. She had a bunch of stand-up comedy specials that were recognized. She rubbed shoulders with all the celebrities and stuff. She's even had celebrities on the podcast. She's actually like, I don't want to give her like as a bad example of the industry because she's a very good one.
Yeah,
like,
she's
we
funny.
admire her
She's
too.
funny as well.
But they had a conversation was her frustration is I think the conversation was already on the premise of having the
What
streets.
podcast was this? I might listen to it myself.
It was her podcast. I don't know what I'll give you off air. Yeah, the whole premise of it was, would you rather have the streets or have the industry? And he was acting as an example of someone like who basically has the streets, and she was acting as someone who basically has the industry. But her gripe was, in the podcast scope, she says she's not recognized, and she's kind of like, oh. And I think she was trying to go down the adversity route. She was a bit like, oh, well, I'm a woman. I feel like I have to do double the entertaining stuff as a woman on a podcast to get recognized on the podcast sphere, or even sometimes a stand-up over the year. But she's mainly found that in the podcast sphere, because look at the biggest podcasts. It's like, it's guys that aren't necessarily industry. The closest one that's made a breakthrough on that is probably bridging the gap between industry and podcasts. Is probably Joe Rogan, like we've said, or Joe Budden even. But a lot of guys are just internet famous kind of thing, the podcasters. So her frustration was, I'm not recognized as much as in the industry as a podcaster. What I'm thinking about, I'm like, and I said this to Jordan, I'm saying, if Kevin Hart or whatever, if The Rock told me tomorrow he's dropping a podcast, I actually might not rush to that as quick as I
Kevin
rush
Hart
to.
has a podcast, you know that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know, I was about to say Kevin Hart, and then I was like, but even the time Kevin Hart put out his podcast, I was like, I wasn't rushing to that.
I still haven't listened to it.
When my favorite YouTuber, my favorite meme star on TikTok or whatever on YouTube says they're dropping a podcast, I might run to that as quick because they're already funny. They've already garnered like cult following. They've garnered the streets, so the streets want to listen to that quicker than you want to listen to the industry. That because in my mindset's already like, I don't have to listen to them. They already have the industry. They have the industry to protect them if they don't get the listens. Like, this is already getting sponsored by someone. Like, they already have a Patreon before they've even started.
But
do you know what I mean?
The internet has changed that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You speak on it first before.
Before we didn't have autonomy to choose whatever we wanted to watch or listen to.
Yeah.
Bruv, you listen to the radio. That's it. You watch TV, whatever comes on at whatever time. How many TV shows have we watched just because there was nothing else good to watch?
Scheduled TV.
Do you get what I'm saying? But now that we can control everything that we want to do, like, I don't have to listen to this. I don't have to see that. I don't have to do this. Like, if you don't have the streets and the industry, them bitches will drop you quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the streets
If
will
they
love you.
if the industry give it to you, they can take it. It's
take
in
it
their
away.
power. Like, sorry.
No, that's pretty much it. Like, literally, it's just one of those things where, like, nowadays it's more about how many people are watching you, how many people are invested in you, as opposed, and then the industry will come like, all right, cool, everyone's looking at this guy, let's give him the
That's
back.
what I think I said this when Sammy and John came along, and you were kind of saying industry, but sometimes you need them. I'm like, the thing about the internet now is once you build it, they come. Like people like Chunks and like once you build it, that's when the industry comes. Obviously, one of my favorites, like everybody knows, Andrew Schultz is like, because that's like his thing is like, you build it up and they will come.
Self-made. That's the best way to describe the Tim Dillons, the Andrew.
Yeah,
Schultz,
kind of thing. It's like, because once you give them the power, like the point of the industry traditionally, like Deji saying, they have the power to put you in front of people because you have to watch them on TV. What the internet did now is to kill the industry. You can go in front of people yourself. Like right now, us doing this and buying all the cameras, using the internet, getting someone to do the sound, we would have needed to pay for a building. We would have needed to pay to put it on air, and we just had someone to believe in our vision for us to do this. But right now, we're just like, you know what?
So
we believe in the vision, so we're gonna go straight to the people. So if you go to the industry and then the industry control what they want you to put out, how they want you to put out, what medium. And I'm not even anti-industry because look, if they came and they offered us one big bag now,
I'm taking that shit.
bro,
My tax pack is different, man.
I was like, I'll take it. But I also understand it's like, as long as I have the people, like if people like me and like I listen to like Andrew, he can make as many as fucked up jokes, many as jokes as he likes. I'm not gonna cancel him, and the industry can't be like, oh, we're pulling Flagrant 2 off air because Flagrant 2 is too fucking abusive or it's not too politically correct. They don't have that power. So he can make that joke knowing that like I have a million subscribers that actually come here for the fucked up jokes. They know once they come here, they are gonna get the flagrancy, and that's why they're here. Whereas the industry, they're trying to they have sponsors, like you're saying. They have Budweiser. They have people that are attached to it. They don't have that much influence.
Look how they dropped Travis Scott for something that's not even his fault.
Yeah.
Like, the industry is like, at the end of the day, it's not a.
It's a business.
It's a business.
It's a business for them.
And like, at the end of the day, now everyone is just trying to get as many eyeballs on their things as possible. That's why Netflix is getting as many Netflix originals as possible because, it's here. You have to come here. Look at us. You know what I'm saying? And like, you just need the people that control the streets for that.
Yeah, and I was saying it to like Dave. I was saying one of the things that Rogan, not that I wouldn't say he did wrong, but like obviously because he got 120 million. But when he was independent and doing the YouTube thing by himself, less
restrictions.
Flashbacks. Yeah. What is it? Backlash. Sorry.
Yeah.
You don't let backlash here. But once you've attached yourself to an entity or an organization, and they can hold the organization accountable, like now people can complain to Spotify and be like, he did this, take him off, because they can go to the industry. When he was on YouTube, what are you gonna do? He's making his own money.
He's just have people in his comment section.
If you're not listening, don't listen. But now Spotify have to like make statements, or they have to put before videos.
The thing is, like, I'm not gonna lie to you with all of that, bro. Don't miss me with all that shit. If you put me in the industry now, I say this because obviously it's not been offered, but it's one of those situations where it got me here. And it's what's gonna continuously get me there. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if you start changing your content now, you're gonna start dropping off in listeners because people are gonna be like when Brilliant Idiots started going very political and all that kind of stuff, I just stopped listening. So like, I do understand that now there's someone to be accountable to, but you got me here for X amount of listeners. I've still got those X amount of listeners.
Yeah.
So now somebody that now knows who I am because I'm on the Spotify app.
Yes.
Bro, that's cool, but I'm still making you this 100, like you pay me 120,
no,
I'm making you a billion.
I get you. Like that was an example. That's why Spotify won't drop them, because you're still gonna get them X amount.
And the streets give him protection. Look how much the streets have defended him. Like in all the backlash he's received. Like I've seen, and most of the defense I've seen has came from YouTube. It's YouTubers defending him. That's what I'm saying. When you have the streets, you have the protection.
Yeah, because
you'll always have that protection.
Because the industry, it's like, but what makes it difficult now is like, because he built up with the streets. Say if you're coming straight from the industry, the minute Spotify, you're causing them like too much hassle and you're not making them, like Rogan makes them money. But if us three now, we will go on Spotify, we're not making that money and we want to be flagrant and we let Spotify build us up, they'd be like, yo,
bro,
cut them guys, you know?
They will snatch that shit quickly.
The internet is probably different because we could be like, you know what, let's create our own lane. You could use the industry, get eyeballs on you, and then be like, okay, create our own lane. But before it wasn't like that. Before, if Spotify drops you, you have no internet to be like, let me create my own lane. You have to stay in line because, like, I know what you're saying about Kevin Hart, but Kevin Hart are surpassed the part that, like, he's probably, there's not enough money. But if he just wanted to make content that he wants, he's big enough. But there is people that are not Kevin Hart level. Maybe they call her daddy girls, for example.
Yeah.
That might be like, we need industry love because we don't have the streets like that. If we leave here, we have to play by the line, by the rules of the industry.
I was just saying it from a standpoint as well. Like we're looking at the angle of the protection you get from the streets, but even like there's certain genres that just belong to the streets. Do you know what I mean? Like we look at music, like drill literally belongs to the streets. Like rap will always belong to the streets. Like we look at footballers and football that they're regarded by the streets. That'll never change. Podcasting, I think, will always belong to the streets. I think as much as we try industry, I think it will always belong to the streets because you see industry people try break in and present podcasts, every time. And I think still to this day we can say the most successful podcasts are the ones that have been self-made. Like look at the ones they've tried. They've tried doing Amy Schumer podcast.
God,
that shit flopped. You know what I mean? Like,
sorry, I don't like that.
That's because industry is very formulaic. Is that the word?
Yes. Perfect, because I was gonna say industry is formulaic, but podcasts have to be authentic. People talking.
The thing is, as much as people think is you just come here and you just chat nonsense with your friends, it's actually a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
Like, bruv, we're thinking about how long have you been recording? How do we transition to the next topic? Is this even interesting? Are we getting bored on this? Like, can we move on? Like, there's so much more things that are outside of it that you can put together. You can buy all of the right pieces, but sometimes it might just not work. where someone can build it and it's better.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like it's just
Like, yeah, and I think especially in conversation format, like because what the industry are doing is they probably take, because usually people that run the industry are older people that have a certain way of seeing things, a certain way.
Probably a bit out of touch, you know.
Yeah, things used to work one way. So when you're creating, they're probably seeing a podcast as a show, so they want a format, they want it breaks, blah blah blah. Whereas that doesn't translate to our generation, because everybody that's been put on a podcast, I don't know what podcast y'all first listened to, but whatever podcast you listen to, it was just guys busting balls and talking. It wasn't like this is like whatever. Like I remember my first podcast was
Joe
Brilliant.
Budden podcast,
and I just listened to like Charlamagne and Andrew just talking, joking, topics, making mad jokes, and I'm like, oh, I could be in a room right now with these people and having this conversation. But if you put me Amy Schumer and she's like reading a teleprompter kind of podcast, I'm like, bro, I don't want to listen to this. Are these even her opinions? Are they telling her what to say, kind of thing? You know
and like also the thing is, not everyone's opinion needs to be heard. Like in the way of like some people just aren't interesting to listen to.
100%.
Like that's just it. Like,
And I think that's what a podcast, everybody thinks their opinions are interested to listen to. Like, look at us doing a podcast. So you have to, and you need that delusion. You need to believe that someone is going to tune into me 2 hours every week. Like, we're talking about like Kanye being delusional filming. This is a bit delusional that you would go around and be like, hey, I'm going to talk for I'm going to talk for 2 hours and people are going to tune in because my opinions are so lit.
Yeah.
Like, but some people, it's like, you're just not that interested in it.
some motherfuckers just ain't interesting.
Yeah. Wait. Anything else you want to talk about, touch on?
I think you tapped me out, to be honest.
I think I'm wrapped up. Yeah.
Yeah, we good.
For a minute,
Yeah.
Oh shit. I want to start doing like music of the week and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Music of the
Yeah.
week. What's called like, it doesn't have to be. It could be a song, an album.
Jack
artist,
Harlow,
whatever.
Nail Tech. Go stream.
So what? So music we give like
Just
you have
what you've
to
been
explain
listening
the
to this week.
concept. Oh, music you've been listening to.
Jack
Like,
Harlow,
it
Nail
could be an
Tech.
album, an artist, whatever.
Song, right.
Song.
And I'm gonna stay away from J. Cole every week. I promise, guys.
No, you won't.
Right. So we're gonna start. That's another thing. Music of the week. We're gonna probably start doing some like dilemmas and talk to people. More guests are gonna.
Your
soon come.
motherfuckers, man, sending them dilemmas, like, make them juicy, man.
Yeah, make them
Your
juicy.
girl
Send them
favorite
in.
voice,
Send
did
them in.
Anyways,
But now my artist for the week, Zeno Liski, he's cold.
Yours A&R for sure.
No, bro. No, you know what? Yeah, like
Nah, he's paying him.
I haven't
Yeah.
really
Listen.
been listening to music too tough. Like I don't really listen to his music as much anymore. But I listen to him, bro. Like he's got me listening to more music and
send
shit.
them on. Let me
Like,
listen a little
he's
bit. Yeah.
Cold Afrobeat artist, cold, bro. Check him
check
out.
out. Have you said Jack Harlow Nail
I said
Tech?
Jack Harlow, Nail Tech.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, this is a Jack Harlow
If
stand.
we're going weekly, yeah, Jack Harlow, Nail Tech. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually look. I'd have to think about. Like, so let me look at my
What have you been
Spotify
listening to
real
this
quick.
week? Anything?
I've actually been listening to 50 Cent again.
Yeah, then that's it. 50
Alright.
Cent. Which particular song?
So Seductive, Tony Yayo and 50 Cent.
Oh, we
Shawty's
we
so
talked about
seductive,
the
dancing on me.
Super Bowl performance. That's brought a lot of people.
Oh
back.
shit!
Oh,
yeah.
Before I wrap up.
Shout out to my goat.
That was
You
a
know,
great
he's
man.
actually elite because they made memes of him and he leaned in and he used it as a marketing
But
point.
I think that's the thing about 50. 50's never been afraid of making fun of himself. Like 50 would
And
make
he
fun
loves
of
50 is a good
everybody.
comic.
And he loves marketing, bro.
Like 50 is funny. Like
Yeah.
he's a funny not in a comedic way, but because he's also so brilliant, like he can see he translates his talent into different things. I'm thinking like some of the times I watch him like just buzz balls, even talk on camera.
He hit his
Man,
peak
this
when he
guy's
was beefing
funny.
when he was beefing Mayweather.
He's like Nelly fucked your first baby mama. There's this guy fucked your first. Why is he fucked the baby? Fuck that guy. 50 is funny.
Hey, let's challenge the Floyd Mayweather. I'll
50 is
pay
funny.
you if you can
Nah,
read.
yeah, but anyway, the Super Bowl performance, a lot of like.
What do you guys think of it?
I think it was the nostalgia play was nice.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing Dre, Snoop, and like Snoop is like Snoop. I love Snoop because everybody's in all black. The guy's in a fucking. He just does his own thing. He moves in his way.
But that's because Snoop's got the streets on lock.
On lock. Snoop can do just eat ad, and we ain't saying shit. We ain't calling that guy a sellout. We love Snoop.
Snoop is
Like,
the coldest.
a lot of rappers could do it just eat ad, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's just to be." Well, I thought it was cold. I thought the nostalgia play was nice. I thought it was good seeing Drake because sometimes you forget. Think about these
Forgot about
nostalgia.
Drake.
You forget, and you forget about some of their catalog. You forget about some of their
And
music.
then Dre last year, man, with his brain, the brain hemorrhage he had last year, was it?
Oh, he had a brain hemorrhage last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, that
Even
was a
the-
big performance from him, considering
Yeah.
all things considered. Like Kendrick Lamar, I had a question for you. Are we putting him in that bracket now?
What bracket?
We saw Mary J. Blige, legend,
Oh,
legend in our own respect. Snoop, legend.
Kendrick is a legend.
Kendrick is
already,
Yeah.
already.
been.
I think Kendrick's a legend.
Like-
No,
I think
don't get me wrong. I think he's one of
I
my
don't think-
greatest. But is he a legend?
He's
No.
not. He's not legacy.
Because
Obviously,
they hit that,
he's still in
like-
his thing. But
Yeah.
he
We're
been,
doing
he been
testimony.
legend.
and I think
performances
Kendrick
from-
is definitely top 5 of his like of his era, of that class. That
Top
was like,
3.
Yeah,
Because I felt like a testimony
Him,
performance, him
Cole,
doing
and
that at Super
Kendrick.
Bowl.
Drake, Cole, and
I'm like,
Kendrick.
actually, he's been in the game 12 years. He
Yeah.
can do that now, and it makes sense now because he's been.
He didn't look out of place.
No,
That's
he
the
didn't.
thing.
He didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't sit there and I didn't be like,
What if I see it?
where's Kato here? Like,
Yeah.
like.
But I do love a good nostalgia play. Obviously, probably there's obviously memes going around where the kids slept through the halftime show because they were
Yeah.
like, "Who do they know
I
there?"
think this might
Even
be the,
Kendrick hasn't dropped in a minute.
this might be the first halftime show where it's like actually like I'm fully in tune.
Oh, Beyonce's one was lit.
Oh shit, I forgot about
Beyonce's,
Beyonce.
Beyonce's one was hard.
Beyonce's
about
always,
Beyonce.
always good. Yeah. Bruno's theirs was good. The Weeknd
The
was good
Weeknd's
for the
one-
meme.
The,
No, he was
The
confused.
Weeknd's one was really good. I was
the
watching it
weekends
live, though.
after a while, I just kind of like I zoned out.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't in it. Like do you know this one? I'm just oh my god, they still forgot about Drake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
The
saying?
Weeknd's one, a lot of it was songs from the album. I remember at the time.
Yeah, and
it
like it's not
wasn't-
an album I fuck with too tough.
Yeah, yeah.
But whereas this is like this is all music that I actually have heard when they came out.
The California love, like all the. And then when he went to the piano, I was like, no.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it
Sometimes
was cool.
nostalgia play gets us there, man. But it was good because it was in it was in LA. Obviously, it was in California.
Yeah.
You get
All they
Snoop,
needed was that
Dre,
Tupac hologram and we'd have been good.
Bro,
The
fam.
right-
What? If that
Bro?
Tupac hologram came out, it would have popped off.
Yeah.
That's what Skip Bayless said.
Straight out of jail.
All he needed was 2 packs there to complete it. But nah, what you make of it?
Of the Super Bowl performance,
Yeah.
man, it was a hit of nostalgia. You know me with Cristiano Ronaldo, nostalgia gets me every time. I'm sold on nostalgia.
Which one
The
is it?
Set too.
Joe doesn't like nostalgia and this guy didn't like the future.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that was the last podcast. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely sold on nostalgia. But
Yeah,
just
it
the
was-
set was nice.
And
I
50
think-
upside down.
I just like how Dr. Dre kept it ticking. He come back up. You see Dr. Dre come back up after every performance. Go, ding, 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 ding. And next to go in this, I'm like, oh, okay. Like I love that.
You know what's
I love
crazy as
Dr.
well?
Dre.
Like it showed some high level performances. Like Dre,
It was high
hey,
level. Yeah.
I might as well have been listening to the bloody song. Like he was so clear. It was like, bruv, it was like obviously he's not moving around and shit like that. But
Snoop Dogg
it
was smoking a
impeccable.
J
What did
before he
Marshall
came in.
Mathers perform again?
What's called
Eminem, fam.
forgot about Dre first. Then he performed what's called he performed Lose Yourself and yeah.
That guy's a legend as well, you know.
That's
He just didn't age well. I don't mean in the literal sense, like
Yeah,
just his
musically.
music wise, yeah.
but that's because now he makes music that shows he can rap. He's not making
Bro,
music. He's just
no.
rapping.
That's it. Someone, I was listening to a pod that said before he made music for like angsty teens that made you feel like even like he wasn't even like I'm sorry mama like even Lose Yourself, like you listen to these songs and like they weren't just songs, they were also like
Anthems, like Lose
Perfect
Yourself is an
word.
anthem.
Perfect words, like oh I feel this, like palms are sweaty, you could be like yeah I feel it. Now it's just like yeah we knew you could rap, it wasn't a rapping. Do you know he was like, do you know how back then when rock bands made like angsty music for like teenagers that hate their parents, he just
Yeah.
did that in rap. Like he did that.
But now it's
version of
transition
music
now. Now he's
in
making
rap.
like monster drink
Yeah,
music
because
or
now,
something.
now he's just like he's
Call
not,
of Duty music.
I don't feel like he's making music anymore. He's just
Yeah.
rapping, and it's like it's
That's a
cool.
good
Like,
way to put
bro,
it.
you
And
can
it's
rap.
very-
Yeah, cool.
it-
That's great. But like, bro, I want some good music.
Yeah, it's really commercialized too. I find I'm just not really
Like, bro,
like.
that Rap God song is like, yeah, cool. Like you're
We
putting a
can
lot of
spit.
words.
Yeah,
Like you can
yeah,
spit.
yeah.
Great.
Because like even when I'm gone, just carry on the morning. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
You know what I'm saying?
I think
Like
this
music that makes me
feeling
feel
this.
shit.
Yeah,
Like, and then
yeah, yeah.
there's people that aren't really the greatest rapping. Like their lyrics aren't crazy. Not going like 50 years. Lyrics aren't really going over your head or anything. But he says that shit and he means that shit. That's all I need.
That's why a lot of people love Many Men. That's like that thing I said about Kanye. He's not the best rapper, he's not the best producer, but when he puts like all falls down together, you're like, I love that shit.
On that Kanye doc, when him and who was it's not Talib, it's So Def? No. Most Def. Is that who was?
I don't know what part you're talking about.
It was
Continue talking.
it was the early bit where they were like, oh, spit some rhymes for that
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
And Kanye goes off. Kanye went off. I was like, no, this nigga killing this shit. And like then he started, like, you can see at first he's just reciting lyrics. Then he gets
yeah,
up
yeah, I remember.
and then he
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
go. I
He
was
gotta
like,
do the song.
Kanye is going.
See
But
Young Beyonce in that. Did you see
I
that?
haven't watched it. I only watched like the first
like,
20 minutes.
Like they're at a show in Chicago and like backstage it's a Jay-Z concert and Young Beyonce's been hot for years, man.
I
I
didn't
was looking at this, I was like, has she been laying forever?
Yes.
Fair play to
Beyonce's
Beyonce. You know.
prime, yeah.
Anyways.
04, man.
Look, you guys already know the format change, everything we're doing.
Yeah.
We're gonna start doing little segments like Dilemma, Song of the Week, and
Episodes on Wednesdays now.
episodes on Wednesdays because we gotta record.
Bit side content.
And if they on the YouTube is a no request network. Jesse, is that
Wait,
thing
hold
online?
on. Is the YouTube even been
Is
made?
the YouTube been made?
Okay, what is it?
No Request
No
Network.
Request Network, yeah.
DJ Jesse also is on Instagram. Follow him. Links probably in his bio.
Wait, that nigga ain't paying.
Anyways, if you don't like anything we said on this pod,
Bro,
well,
charge of the motherfucking game.
there you go.